brought to you by SunWest Genetics.
What's up, potheads and political junkies? You're watching Cannabis Culture News Live. Jeremiah here with my main man, Opus.
Hey. Back in Pot TV.
That's right, my wingman today. And also in the hot seat over here, to my right is the expert himself, Craig X.
Sorry, I thought that was a question when you said, "What's up, potheads?" Political. I was like, what do you mean?
Nothing's hanging. And Mr. Neil Magnuson.
Hey, what's up?
Wearing a purple 420 shirt today. Like that one. And I got my black 420 25 years
Should
shirt
probably
on.
be promoting Cannabis Day, but
Oh yeah, I meant
Right.
to ask you about
It's in
that
the
as
laundry.
well too.
Cannabis Day, yes. So let's talk about Cannabis Day at the front of the show here. Cannabis Day will be back at Thornton Park in Vancouver on July 1st. That's Pacific Central Station, if you don't know what Thornton Park is.
Or the Main Street SkyTrain station.
Main Street SkyTrain Station. There's our wonderful park there. It's actually quite nice. It's a good spot for Cannabis Day, I think. We never have any
there well.
trouble there, and it's
nice.
got a lot of space.
The trees add some
The trees.
Like a little pathway where you line the
Yeah,
booths
grass to
along.
sit down on, but you still have the cement for the path. It's quite nice. So we'll be back there again. It's same as it was the last couple of years. It's a stage show. We're going to have music, activist speakers. Of course, we have our cannabis farmers market across the whole stretch as much as we can. So people will be down there selling a rainbow of cannabis products. It's a stage. Oh, there's me. And
I heard that before somewhere.
so yeah, Cannabis Day back at Thornton Park, going to be awesome. So check that out. We will definitely have some sort of a broadcast for you. Hopefully, I'm not sure what we're going to do. We did it last year.
Looking
Yeah,
at me.
Look over at Craig X.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, we did it last year from there, and it was
I did it the last couple years.
yeah, it was fun. We had our little side tent there, so we'll bring something to you. But if you can make it on down to Vancouver, if you're not in the area.
I was away last year on my cross Canada trip, but the year before I was there, it was
The big road venture you went on last year was a big
It's a fun one. I like Cannabis Day.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
420's little cousin or something, you know?
Well, I'm headed off on the July 3rd, so it's the right before I leave. So yeah, it should be a good one.
And so, Opus, where are you leaving to?
On that trip, actually, I'm going to Horse Thief Hideout, which is a biker event to support AIM, which is Association for Injured Motorcyclists. Mm-hmm. So that's in Invermere. That's just a big, it's a weekend. It's a biker event, party. They have bands and bike games and camping and stuff.
Cool.
Lots of drinking if you're into that sort of thing. But, of course, people I'm going with, no, we're not. I mean, there's a lot of people aren't as much anymore.
Yeah.
But at the end of July, I'm going to the Yukon.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm riding up to Dawson City, Yukon Territories.
Nice.
Land of the midnight sun.
Yep.
When I'm up there, I was looking it up. It doesn't get dark till about 11:30, quarter to 12 at night.
That's pretty cool.
And the sunrise is like 3:30 in the morning.
Not a lot of sleep time there. You got to get some blackout curtains.
I'm getting one of those like beauty mask things,
Yep.
sleep masks for Of
course.
Otherwise, you're dealing with your body. You do go through problems. You just can't deal with it properly. And everyone I've talked to said they had some issues and they were tired a lot. So
how long are you going to be there?
Yeah.
there's myself and 3 ladies.
So how long are you going to be there?
I thought you said who. I'm sorry. How long? Oh, I'm going for 19 days. It's
see.
a 19-day trip, yeah.
Wow, that's quite the trip.
About 6,000 some odd kilometers, give or take.
Cool.
You actually heard my question. You just wanted to say you were going with a couple of ladies.
That's right. I wanted to. What? Yeah.
Opus is bragging.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm showing off, man. No, actually, it's funny. These 3 girls, they're in my chapter of our bike club, and I've traveled with them before. They're just 3 of the best people to travel with. They are funny. But the best part is, when it comes to things like meals and stuff, I don't have to do much.
Better hope they're not watching.
Nah. Yeah, exactly.
No,
You'll be doing it all.
I tell them,
Yeah.
I says they like that too. They go, because I'm easy to go. It's like, they can just, whatever you want, girls. Like, I'll just go with what you, and it's easy. So actually, that's why they allow me to travel with them. It's more, yeah. It's more,
like it.
it's more like, yeah, I'm allowed.
More like Opus is going with 3 girls.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you can come with us. Yeah,
Okay, fine, Opus. You can come. Don't fuck it up.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, they need someone to bring the weed.
Right.
So that's very cool. Opus's little journeys that he's rolling on. I guess you'll be bringing a good medical sack with you.
Always,
Always.
always.
Very
It's
nice.
not Opus 710 Adventures for nothing.
That's right.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Midnight sun dabs.
So what is going on with Craig X these days?
Well,
Haven't seen you on the show for a while.
Yeah, I mean, these days, today, just finished having Opus on Fridays over there on Fridays.
Save on Radio.
Show there, yeah, Save on Radio, which you were actually my first guest of the season 4. Yes, you very
That's
much were.
right. Been on a couple times.
So did that show, just wrap that up. Yesterday was episode 179 of Expert Joints Live called Paint by Numbers. We had Cindy Smale, the painter. She came by and painted a picture of Parker on the show, and it looks
What?
awesome.
That's so cool.
Right? It looks really good.
Parker, that's awesome.
Skype tips from
Little buddy.
D420K, music from Stinkmit during dab time, and the butter chef Adam Barsky came by with some tasty treats. We also announced that next week, next Thursday, episode 180, this is the finale. It's the end. Season 4 is all wrapping up, and actually the plan is to bring Mike Rita out for a live rooftop patio performance.
Oh, cool.
For select invited few. So stay tuned for anybody who's watching. You may or may not get an invite from me, potentially. Stay tuned.
Because Rita's in town.
Actually, he's in Nova Scotia right now.
He's in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, he's,
I'm bringing him out for the show to do the show.
Dope.
So, and then he's taking a red eye back home.
Oh, crazy. Hilarious.
So
That's
it's going to be a lot
amazing.
of fun. I haven't had like a live comic stand-up thing like that. We haven't done anything out on the patio this season, so I'm literally going to set that up as a show. So I only got so many room for so many people out there, but I want to like bring a lot of people who've either helped make the show happen this year, or people guests from the season, that kind of stuff, right? So stay tuned. It should be a pretty good show.
That's fun.
Lots to talk about there, and then Studio 710, just ramps up crazy, more and more people coming through, things happening, more content we've got planned to start pumping out this summer as well too. It's with me it never stops. It's always something. Just kind of keep grinding on what's next and what's keep coming, and just
More content. Anything you want to announce?
announce that there's going to be some announcements coming soon.
There will be. I love those
I
announcements.
can say that. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's things in the works, so stay tuned for some announcements. And as those come out, more will come. And I'll start telling you some of the stuff before I tell some other people some of the stuff. But no, it's cool. You know me, I can't sit still, and I don't, and I want to just continue to keep doing. And I've done a lot in 5 years and change, and that's great. But I want to do a lot more.
Hell yeah.
As well too.
You're just getting started.
Just
Oh,
get
we're not
going.
done yet, so we need lots of voices.
Just getting
Lots of work to
started.
do.
And
Tons
then I
of
guess
work
the
to
other
do.
thing coming up as well too, is the golf tournament, the 420 Cup, the golf tournament this well coming up as well, and end of
love that.
August out there at Squamish Valley Golf Club. Going to be I believe help co-host that as well too. Probably doing some stream stuff from there, and a lot of proceeds going from that event too. We're going to help with the Overdose Prevention Society over here as well too, and some of the Cannabis Substitution Project and some of the those types of people who are giving it back. So
Oh man, last couple of years, the Cannabis Substitution Project has been on the receiving end of that tournament. It's been so valuable. It's just a wonderful event. I recommend everybody go to that.
You get to go to an absolute postcard of a golf course up there in Squamish Valley. It is literally one of the most beautiful places there is.
Fabulous.
And then you get teams of 18 teams of 4 running around the golf course, or driving around the golf course, or golfing around the golf course, smoking weed,
Having dabs.
having dabs. There's a dab cart, and all
There's a dab
sorts of
cart.
stuff.
I
Multiple,
played in
actually.
the first one. I played in the first, and it was amazing. It was like, first of all, because I'm a golfer. So I was just like, wow, this is, first of all,
You have to
a
sneak the
beautiful
toke, you can take the
course.
toke, yeah.
It's a beautiful course. And I'm sitting here, and I've played a lot of nice golf courses, okay? And, there's that whole etiquette thing and dressing for the game. And I wheel into the back of the golf course. I pull up, and I get my clubs, and I'm going to check in. And I'm looking around at all the tents and the booths set up with all the sponsors, like from, like dab companies and stuff. And people walk around like Kiwi. And seeing Kiwi at a pristine golf course, somehow there's like, what is wrong with this picture? These two things kind of aren't really. And then I see
That's funny.
a dab cart. Okay, well, I'm used to seeing the drink cart. No, we have a dab cart. I'm
They had a
like,
syrup cart in
oh, I'm
previous
liking
years, too.
this.
All kind of things.
but
Really? Syrup cart,
So
nice.
we tee off, and as you're playing, now I've played in a lot of charity golf tournaments where every other hole is sponsored by some liquor company or a beer company, and they get you pretty drunked up. Well, if they can, if you drink. Anyhow, every other hole was weed or dabs. So it wasn't just the dab cart that was running around you'd be all teeing up. Here comes a dab cart. Hang on, we're all going to stop and do a round of dabs. And then...
But each hole itself.
And then, every
Ganja
other
golf.
hole. So you hit off of one hole, you get to the next tee, and there's another sponsor. Somebody set up with all their weed or their or whatever they had. Oh, would you guys like to try some of this? And I'm looking at
fantastic.
some of the jars of weed. I'm like, oh my god, it was
awesome.
amazing. So, what was presented was the creme de la creme. It was some high-end product. There was
Beautiful.
no low-end stuff. But again, you're right. This pristine, high-end golf club just opening their doors to this private
They
event.
hand it right
of,
over to the
this-
cannabis
this
event
whole-
completely.
clearly there's people on the board of directors that are cannabis friendly at this club, or they wouldn't
cool
have
with,
allowed
at the
it.
very least.
Yeah.
Well, they also have some kind of understanding that no, these guys won't come and wreck anything. We didn't do
So,
any damage.
to that
the
effect-
course was still in good shape. We didn't cause a
To
problem.
that effect, protecting the grass, the whole place is grass. So we didn't maybe have 120,000 people through there, but there's a couple hundred people through there. And they are to the point where the next day, they're like, so, you want to book again for next year?
Yeah, exactly.
Their top day of sales for concessions, for drink carts, for everything. Like
And
it's
more
their
fun.
And it's their favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
And usually,
Jesus,
and
it's
it is often with so many events. They go, the weed guys, you guys are cool.
Yeah, it's
we have
420.
no
Yeah.
problem with that.
Well, we're definitely less destructive than all the drunks on the golf course.
Fucking
and
hey,
they
bro.
they realized that right away.
Yeah.
They actually know that. They went, these guys are the best behaved compared to
Yeah.
some of the alcohol events.
Oh yeah, they're used to people
Absolutely.
getting drunk
420.
of course and dealing with
420.
happy 420
Hey, I'm already smoking.
from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Here
Yeah,
at
so I mean that's mostly
307
what
West
I got
Hastings.
going on here. You know, that's the big thing. Then stay tuned for that big announcement there, whatever that.
I've been asked to come play again
Yes,
this year.
yes, please do come out. For
I'm
that.
cool.
So those are the things on the immediate horizon. We'd love to see you there. You got to come out for a change. Check
I would
that out
like
as
to
well,
come
too,
check
man.
that out.
It's
I'm
on
a
a Sunday
golfer, too.
afternoon.
We should be a team.
We
we should be a team.
That'd be fun.
We
It's been a few years. I got rid of
Yeah,
my
well,
golf
it's best
clubs.
ball
so-
format and shit. So you get to hit from wherever the best hitter was. You just keep going on. You smoke a weed and have a good time.
I better
There's
hit the
more
pitch and
people who-
putt practice.
There's as many people who come
Let's
there
go
just
play
to-
around.
Yeah, there's as many people who come to just hang out as there are people actually there to golf. So
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And they got a band that plays.
It's a social. It's a social event. And I remember. I don't know if they did it last year, but the first year afterwards, like after the game, there was a dinner, and then but there was also a putting competition.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
pretty cool.
Don Briere won that last year.
Yeah, he
Did
did.
he?
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
that was a
And
good competition.
I
Bunch of fun
actually
to
was
race
in the putt off in the first year. I did not win, but I was in the.
I was
putt
close
off.
actually myself. I was right there with Don. but-
Carly says
He was
happy
on
420 to
fire.
everybody.
Have 420, Carly.
Hey Carly,
Carly.
happy 420.
So yeah, so I mean, with that, I know you got a bunch of other
show
stuff to do or whatever, and
We
you got a
do.
good guest coming up there, the
That's
homeboy out of
right.
Saskatchewan.
That's right. So we haven't even talked about that yet, but
It's just about time because we told him 420.
we
Yeah.
did. We're
So,
going
I
to
mean-
bring in Sterling Wild.
And I'm going to dip back to Studio 710. I got to go deal with Parker and all that stuff. I just want to
Craig
come by,
X is
say
out.
hi, Jack, for a second. Please toke up
Beautiful.
and tune in next Thursday. It's a show you don't want to miss. If you like my show, if you like the Pod TV shows, you'll like this one for sure.
Next Thursday.
Love you, Craig.
Tune on in.
All good. Thanks, bro.
Tune into CLN or Pod TV to watch Mr. Craig X's show every Thursday at 420.
Yeah, expertjoints.com.
Expertjoints.com. There you go. So we're calling the show Cartel Cannabis today, and that's because there's a news article out about the RCMP. We talked about it, I think, last week on the show a little bit. RCMP went silent about massive pot bust over concern for marijuana producers' stock price, documents reveal. So the RCMP has been covering up the fact that Canopy has been doing some dirty shenanigans, bringing in a bunch of illegal weed in hockey bags. They were busted doing it, but the RCMP kept it silent. And in their own documents, it shows that the reason they kept it silent was because they were worried about affecting Canopy's stock price. Well, and guess who owns a bunch of cannabis stock? A lot of former police officers and a lot of
Guys like Bill Blair.
Right. Well, I'm not sure about Billy himself.
Well,
but,
I'm sure he has interests.
Liberals and police officers are Chuck Rafisi, Trudeau's own campaign finance manager, took care of all the campaign finance stuff for him during the election. He's the guy who started Tweed.
He started Tweed.
So, and a lot of the people who have stock and the people that started this company are former liberals, or I don't know if maybe current liberals, and ex-cops. So that's some crazy stuff. And we're going to get into the details of that, but our friend Sterling showed up at a Tweed location in Saskatoon just a few days ago at the opening of the big Tweed store in Saskatoon.
A legal store.
A legal store where they're selling shitty bud.
Because it's legal, eh? Right?
It's legal if you're Tweed.
Where you pay your fines up front.
Right. And these guys, so Sterling showed up at this place and gave away hundreds of free joints, a whole bunch of free joints to people who would not go inside. He said, I'll give you free weed if you don't go in and buy weed. So, and he's doing a little protest like this. Yeah. Oh, even if they went in, he did it.
Oh, he wants you. Oh,
comparison.
here. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, you can use this as a comparison. Exactly. Here's your benchmark.
Yeah. So we're going to bring Sterling on. We actually have him on Skype. I think we can give him a call right now and try to get him in here. He's today in Calgary doing the same thing at a New Leaf location.
I love this. Is good. This guy's like
this is a great,
so dear to my
very
heart to
creative
do this.
protest.
We're
This
bringing
is
him
so
here, or
cool.
we're going to do it without him if he doesn't come, but we want him
Oh
here.
fuck, we don't need him. We can do it. All
We'd like to bring him.
I think he wants to do this a lot more.
Oh, we
Like
should have him in. Why
yeah.
not? This is great. Oh, for sure.
So we're Skyping Sterling right now. There he is. Sterling, how you doing, man? Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me all right?
I think we can.
Awesome.
The chatters will let us know if they can. You got him there on the screen, Anil? Let's see the man. Does he have his own panel or something? Oh, okay. There we go. Can you make him full screen? Yeah, you should get. Hold on a sec, there, Sterling. We're just making sure that the audience can see out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
communication.
we're gonna bring you in a different way. There we go. So now we got you. It looks like there's two. I don't know if it's just the one. Okay, so now we got you, and now you can make him full screen for a sec. So Sterling, tell us about where you are right now out there.
We are currently standing in front of one of the New Leaf dispensaries in Calgary, Alberta, located at 2500 4th Street Southwest in Calgary. And I don't know if you guys know this, but New Leaf controls approximately 25% of the recreational cannabis market in Alberta. Hey, guys.
Ah, lucky them.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, lucky them.
for sure.
And apparently, Calgary's decided to lift the moratorium on dealing with no more cannabis stores. So they're opening that up, the market, to add another 25 to 30 stores immediately. And they have 197 permit applications right now in Calgary for cannabis stores.
Wow, craziness. So, and you guys are at the store there, and what are you doing there?
Right now, we're currently protesting corporate cannabis is the main focus. But we're out here. We're giving away free joints to anyone in the public above legal age, or of legal age for that matter. And we're trying to deter folks from going into the New Leaf store.
But you guys need to hurry up and come down because we're running out real quick.
What do you mean you're running out? You guys been smoking it. I'm not running out. I got lots.
Right?
You guys are doing good.
Amazing.
Yes, so far. I think we had a total of over 520 joints on place today. We still have more to give out, so we're working on it.
That's fantastic, brother.
Great
And
job.
so-
Have you been in the store at all?
Nope.
And I obviously no plans too.
Yeah, or have you seen any of the cannabis that's come out of the store?
No, I've seen a lot of the large packaging that they're using.
Right.
We don't want anyone to open their cannabis out in public.
That stuff's dangerous. Careful with that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Sterling, you guys did this not too long ago in Saskatoon, just at the end of May. and you guys went outside of a Tweed location and did the same thing, giving away free weed, right?
That's correct. We did. Tweed in Saskatoon opened their new location on 2nd Avenue in Saskatoon on Friday last week. And when I saw the notification on Facebook that they were opening this new store, I looked at the address and I was like, gee, that's funny. There used to be a medical cannabis dispensary there by the name of Best Buds. And so I was talking a little while later to my friend Glenn Wells from Cannabis.ca, and he knows the Best Buds guys as well. And we got to talking, and we realized that these are the same people at Tweed that pushed Best Buds, the medical dispensary, out of the lease illegally. And not only did they push them out illegally, some of their higher ups decided to show up at the store when Best Buds was still there and have a chuckle at the guys and tell them, yeah, we took your store for you illegally. So good luck with that. So what did we decide to do? Well, we decided to stick it to them a little bit, and we decided to go out and give away a bunch of joints. And where that came from was actually during Christmas, I went out into my community and a bunch of community members, we rolled over 450 joints, and we gave away 160 decent pairs of good winter socks to folks. So I decided to run with that almost exact same idea while doing the protest in front of Tweed. And let me tell you, I did not expect to get the media coverage that I did, but I sure am glad that I did, because that brings light to the new fight that we have on our hands today via Prohibition 2.0.
It is, man. And so, of course, Tweed is part of the Canopy growth empire, who's getting away scot-free with a bunch of weirdness with the cops. So it's good. I'm glad to see you out there basically interrupting the process. What did the guys at Tweed say when you were out there? Did they come out and bug you guys at all?
Well, actually, they came out, and from what you see on in the media.
Maybe if you could hold the mic a little closer to your mouth there, we're losing you a bit, Sterling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think we just lost you for a sec there, Sterling. You still there?
Hang on. People, how many joints can we give you today to keep you from going into this Tweed store?
That could be a dangerous question.
Yeah.
You know what? I grow it. There's lots of other people that grow it. There were some very nice people who were nice enough to donate some of their cannabis to the cause, and that's what enabled us to do that day was community. It wasn't just me. It was the inspiration that I was able to give to others and bring them on board and get them to help out in their community as well.
Nice.
Right, and because I know that you're providing them information when you're out there as well about what these companies are doing and why, they have, it would be better to not go into Tweed. So I'm glad you guys are there providing that info to people.
So what about the cops? I know they came and talked to you in Saskatoon there. Have you had any sign of them today?
No, I mean, we've had some drive-by and whatnot, but I'm guessing that we may have gotten just enough media coverage across a lot of the policing agencies across Canada from our Friday protest.
Yeah, they're probably aware of you, and they don't want to show up and give you more media.
So what would you say to them if they did come and tell you to go away or something?
Well, if they told us to go away, well, I'd tell them, well, unfortunately, I'm on a public sidewalk, sir, and I'm doing nothing wrong. So, because under the new Cannabis Act, I myself, as a person of age or above, can gift 30 grams of cannabis to any Canadian citizen who's above age. So that's exactly what we're doing. Each one of us is carrying about 30 grams worth of joints, and we're handing them out to people.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
But the side you're forgetting though is this is what they call contraband cannabis.
No.
Well, no.
Prove that.
It wouldn't be because under the new Canadian law, depending on what province you live in, unfortunately those poor people in Quebec, but everybody else is essentially allowed to grow 4 plants per household.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's true. I think Manitoba also opted out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, one of the bonuses that we did get with legalization, and although there aren't very many, is the unlimited home dry storage amount, right? So we have unlimited storage within our homes.
There you go.
I hear you. Okay, yeah, that's good. Find the loopholes, I always say.
Right? Well, if you break the law, you're a criminal. If you exploit the loopholes, you're a businessman or an entrepreneur.
Or a politician.
or a politician. So,
I love what
So-
you're doing, though. I
It's
really
fantastic,
do.
man.
This is like a page right out of my book, and that's it. You get active, just go out and do it. Don't ask for permission. Hats
no, it's
off to you, brother.
best to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission, right?
Yeah.
Well, in a case like this, for sure, when you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to do. Is a lot of people think, well, he's just out there giving away joints. No, I'm out here trying to inspire my community and educate the community about the realism behind cannabis and the corporate greed takeover that's happening and the monopolization of something that we created, that my forefathers created and fought for, that you guys yourselves fought and created for. There are people here who have been fighting and creating for this for a long time, and now that it's here, I don't know about you guys, but I've got a really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, and not just from the weed, from tweed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and I haven't even smoked their weed. I have a bad taste in my mouth.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
they're trying to not only
that's right.
annihilate our culture out of existence, but they're going to try to rewrite history as well. I know the store here, Evergreen, the legal store, they got a sign up that say they're the first retail outlet for cannabis in Vancouver. Well, bullshit
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
So, this is really wrong what they're doing. We need to keep speaking up about this, and good on you for doing that, Sterling. I don't know if you know, but this is Neil Magnuson here talking to you. That was Opus before that said you're doing right after what his heart's all about.
Yep.
And we certainly support you here. We're wondering if you're going to come here. But we're going to do the same thing. We have to, right? Of course. But, do you want to come here and help us with it? We'd love to have the professor in Vancouver helping us with that.
Me and my cohort, Mark Williams, are currently trying to do this exact thing, and we would love to come there and help out with you guys, because that's what we're about. We're about helping others. That's what community does. Is
Yeah.
your neighbor used to be your lifeline. So whether you needed a cup of sugar or you need somebody to pull your butt out from under the tractor that flipped over, that's who you went to. And we've lost that. We've lost that. And not only that, I mean, we've lost this sense of being farmers and growing our
Amen.
own food, our own medicine, taking care of everything. And that's essentially what we want, is we want fair and equal rights access for everyone. Not just the government, for everyone. That means that you, Greg, should be able, or you, Neil, should be able to go out, have your cannabis tested, and go out and sell it to whoever you like, as long as you pass the testing regulations. That's it. Very simple.
100%. And there's no legitimate reason to not have it that way.
Or for using the criminal law to enforce their monopoly.
Right. No, it doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
No, so good on you, man. I'm glad you're fighting out there in the streets, making it happen. Really appreciate having you on the show, man. And it'd be great to have you on again when you do this next time, wherever you're headed, whether it's here or elsewhere. We'll make sure to keep having you on when you do this stuff.
Well, I might, okay, you know what, I wasn't going to tell you guys, but next week I actually have to be in Edmonton, because I'm going to a court case in Edmonton, just like I went to a court case this morning.
Right. Now, I did want to talk to you about that too, Sterling, about, unfortunately, on 4/20, the day that Sterling was actually coming out to Vancouver, he got stopped by some cops who said, oh, well, we have this warrant from 17 years ago
Are you
for
kidding?
cannabis. Wow. And they arrested you, and tell us what happened, Sterling.
Well, actually, it didn't start with the warrant. What happened is that I stopped in Edmonton for a layover on my way to Vancouver Sunset Beach 420 because, well, I mean, you guys were nice enough to allow me to help sponsor you guys this year, and I really appreciate that, because Shay's Roots is a great medical company. They really helped us out. So when we came out there, we had a layover in Edmonton, and what happened was, I went outside to medicate because I was there for an hour and a half. My back was starting to hurt. And when I came back in, I went through security. Now, keep in mind that I went through security in Saskatoon. When I went through security in Saskatoon, the nice lady who was sitting at the bag scanner said, "Excuse me, sir, what's in the big jar?" I said, "Well, miss, that's my cannabis medication. I'm a medical cannabis patient." She said, "Oh, have a nice day." And on I went. But in Edmonton, when I went back through security, they flagged my bag, then opened it up, said, "Oh, you have too much cannabis. You can't have this much." I said, "Yes, I can. My prescription's attached to it." And they basically wouldn't listen to me. called the RCMP. The RCMP came over. They then arrested me on that. They then brought up the trumped up, the warrants from over 17 years ago. And now, after that, now they arrested, put me in a cell for over 24 hours, took away my medication, denied my access to my medication or my right to medicate. They could see that I was clearly in a lot of pain. By the time I actually got out of there, paid to get out, I couldn't walk almost. And I was absolutely beside myself because it's been 24 hours. And the police have shown up, guys.
Oh, here we
Good
go.
time.
Hey, look.
Right.
Hey, everybody, say hi to Pot TV. We're live on Pot TV right now from Vancouver.
Hi,
We're out
cops.
here doing a peaceful protest. But anyways, I'll just get back to my
Cops are
story.
getting educated.
So the protest, when I went to court, they denied my access, and I didn't make it to Vancouver until about 9:30 at night. And I miss hanging out with you guys. You know, that's what I was coming there to do, to support the protest. And a lot of people don't know this, but I've become friends with a lot of folks from the West Coast, the East Coast, and whatnot over the years. And for me, those are get-togethers that we don't get to have all the time. We only get to see each other so many times a year. So not only were they detrimental in that regard, but they also took away my meds and treated me like garbage. They denied me my basic human rights under the Charters and Rights of Freedom.
Brutal, man.
Horrible.
It's terrible.
Make sure you keep the camera rolling while you find out what these people are going to say to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you're due back in court again, though, right?
Yes, I am. I'm due back in court next week in Edmonton. And then also, I tried to plead guilty this morning in Calgary court, and they denied my right to do so because the charges are so old. They didn't have enough information, and it seemed that they needed everybody to get paid first before I was so lucky as to, represent myself. They basically said that I can't represent myself now because the Calgary court system isn't allowing it. So now I'm stuck.
What?
So now I have to get a lawyer, and they're not cheap.
What? You can't represent yourself? That's insane. I thought it was like your constitutional right or something.
I think you
Pretty
have
sure
the
it is.
right. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the right to represent yourself.
That's craziness.
They're
So-
just pushing you around.
Yeah. Not good. So, what are the cops asking there?
Well, I'm going to find out. Hang on a second.
All right, let's see.
This is a new store.
What's happened is New Leaf is taken over with their 20 new locations, 30% of the market share. So this is why.
See, we're on body cam, folks. How are you doing today,
How
sir?
you doing?
You're all going body cam. This is the body cam.
Excellent. Good day. How are you doing? Excellent. Good. Yeah, it was very cold earlier. Actually, the police are being quite nice.
We're not trying. We're people come over to talk about the free joint because obviously, if you say free joint, people are like, "What?" And then we explain to them why you're here. We tell them that the government regulated cannabis costs $7.99 per joint.
That's
just
right,
insane.
folks. National Access Cannabis is the owner of New Leaf.
I know, but we get the protest, right?
Actually, the police are being quite nice here, folks. We're, good report. They just came down to check out and see what we're doing. They're not giving us a hard time. But I think they're, honestly, to tell you the truth, you know what I found from most police officers? They need the education too, is the biggest issue.
That's what I was going to say. You need to be telling them exactly why you're there and what's not right about this system that makes you guys come out there and do this.
That's right. And you know what? That's the great thing about community, because right now I'm talking to you guys and I should be talking to them, but that's okay. Do you know why? Because I have a community built with strong ties to the cannabis world, and you're doing what they do best.
Yeah, you're fine with being a reporter right now. You can just turn the camera on to the cops and let's hear what's saying there.
I think they're just hanging out, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. Like,
Yeah, they're chilling. They're just scoping it out.
They're nice.
Yeah, ask them.
Yeah,
if they-
I offer them a joint.
Hey!
Say, here, it's free. It's not against the law. Ask them if they need a joint.
Well, I know, but it was in the news. But we were wondering, do you think
You guys aren't being allowed in on a medicinal level. There's still a lot of work on that. You need to talk to your unions about that.
Ask them for one for take one for later.
So
We're
funny.
currently trying to instruct them how to speak to their unions.
Just put your stuff in her pocket here.
That's so funny.
Then why is
That'd be hilarious.
And you know what? I think there's still a lot of things that
I wouldn't go near there.
Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
It's just kind of
You
hard
guys
to
just
hear.
come down to check everything out, make sure we're being safe and everything?
we were just ready to keep the peace.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing here. So thank you very much for coming down, sir. Yeah, there's problem.
Great quality.
They're not going to be bugging you guys.
Nah.
These guys.
Offer her a couple
Hey
dibs.
guys,
Yeah, do they?
Yeah, Oscar, she like her three
her
legal
grandmother.
her 3 legal joints that you can gift her.
For her mom.
Yeah.
did anyone ask if they wanted a free
for
joint?
any other adults in her
Yeah, it's one of the things we're protesting right now. I asked them if they wanted one. They said no, they didn't need them.
Right? Yeah.
Hey everybody, nice to see you out on Pot TV.
Good to see you, man.
Hey.
Awesome.
We're filming here.
Yeah, we're just filming, making sure we get all pieces of the conversation and everything. So, I mean, to tell you the truth, it's a little chilly out here, so I apologize if you see the camera shaking a bit. That's my hands.
Have you had any media come out there?
Yes, we had CTV out here a little while ago, but when we originally came out here, it was quite cold. It was raining. It was a rough start, let me tell you. But you know what? I'm from Saskatchewan. We're used to weather like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Hardy
Yeah.
boy.
More
Or
important
worse.
than weather.
Prairie weather.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, all 3 of you guys have been here.
Yep.
Hey,
Pretty chilly.
Are you guys coming to the PMHC this year? I sure hope so.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Not sure.
Not sure either yet.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to.
haven't missed
I
it.
want to, but we'll see.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Cool, man.
is that Greg Williams?
Yeah, Greg's not here right now, but hopefully Greg will be coming to the Prairie Cup. He came last year.
Well,
That was
I
a lot
think
of
he
fun.
has to come this year because Greg won the. I think he took home the Activist of the Year award last year, which means I think he has to present it. To the,
Oh, that's true. I think that is true.
Aha!
That's right.
Ha!
Yeah,
Gotcha!
right.
That
You
means
got a
Greg's
point.
gonna come. Greg, if you see
Cool,
this,
man.
watching this, I'll see you at the PMHC.
There you go.
All right.
Well, Sterling, appreciate you being on, man. Really dope what you're working on. Really love the protest. It's totally hilarious. And those cops aren't going to give you any trouble, are they? They seem like it's all good, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's all good. We're doing well. The police are being really nice. They just came down, to keep the peace. And like I said, they probably have questions like everybody else. So we're going to, educate them. We're going to try and get some donations, give out some T-shirts, some billet cards. And, we're going to continue this throughout the country and try and go as many spots as we can and try and involve and inspire our different communities to get involved. And I think Vancouver's a really good spot because there's a lot of inspirational people out there.
Are you live
Hell
streaming
yeah.
at this point?
Yes, actually, we are live streaming. Mr. Mark Williams, the herbalist, my cohort that you just saw, he's live streaming right now on his page called The Herbalist on Facebook.
The Herbalist. If you type that into Facebook, it'll probably come up. The Herbalist.
Are you on this is The Herbalist, correct?
Yeah, this is the Herbalist. You betcha.
So you can search Mark Williams and find The Herbalist.
Hey guys,
Perfect.
peace. Nice to see you out here. Don't forget, free the greed, man.
Hell yeah.
We're using hashtag Free the Greed, guys. We're also we're giving out T-shirts, the Greed T-shirts, some shit tweet T-shirts for donations. We also have some hashtag Free the Greed T-shirts. We're just trying to give something to people that they can remember, so when they go home today or they see us on the news, that they know where to find us.
Where can people get those Greed T-shirts if they don't, if they're not like in your local vicinity? Or do you have them available online, or is it possible?
They will be online shortly. They are being sold currently at HPC Lifestyle Supplies in Saskatchewan
Cool.
on 225 Avenue D South. North. Yeah, we're gonna go north.
I'd love to sell them on our Cannabis Culture online store.
We will. I think that you and I should definitely have a discussion about that, and I'll get you some contact information because I know that folks around Canada and everywhere else are gonna want one of these. They're nice. I like them, and they come in black or white.
There you go. Beautiful. No,
What are they,
it's a
Greed?
great logo. It says Greed, instead of Tweed.
Instead of Tweed.
Yeah,
logo,
yeah, it's so perfect.
I like the ones that said shit weed.
Yeah,
was Tweed's logo.
that was pretty good too.
Those are the shitweed ones. Actually, there's one other thing I wanted to bring up while I got you guys on here. You got a minute?
Sure.
Yeah. Go
Well,
ahead.
he's got us on there. Eh?
Hell yeah. Please
well,
do,
go ahead.
Sterling.
What do you got going on in your show?
Yeah, please do.
It seems I seem to have found some signatures here on this hoodie I have.
Ah,
I seem to remember that hoodie.
I love it.
Ooh, give that a spin for us. That's the 420 hoodie, folks. Now remember, we're going to be auctioning this off, or pardon me, not auctioning. We're going to raffle this off on final day of the PMHC 2019 here back in Saskatoon. And all the proceeds that come from this are going to be going directly to to charity. I myself will not be choosing the charity. I'm going to leave that up to somebody else because we want to be fair. And we're not going to corporate charity. We're going to pick a regular human being. So I've got a bunch of signatures on here, and I'm looking for more. That's right. I've already got Jeremiah. I've already got Neil. I've got Jody. Who else do I have on here? Right? So I wanted to say thank you guys for bringing us on to Plot TV. We really want everybody to realize and understand where we are now sitting in the fight that we have ahead of us. From east to west here.
Well, thanks for everything you do, man. Totally awesome work. And we really appreciate having you on, and we'll definitely keep in touch about everything, and let's get you back as soon as possible.
You can bet that I want to be back. I love talking to you guys. Thank you, everyone.
Too, brother.
Great job.
Yeah, really great job,
really
man.
Good
Seriously.
job, brother. Keep up the good work.
And we'll make sure to promote the giveaway too for the sweater as well when that happens at the cup.
Yeah, I'll be getting the raffle here ready to go in the next coming weeks. I do have to go out to Birkin for the Great Canadian Glass Gathering where I'll be doing some speaking there. But I would like everybody here to say hi to Plot TV.
Hello,
Hey, look, it's Dylan McCardle from the BC Bud guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, there's Dylan. Hey,
What's up,
Dylan.
man?
Dylan.
What's happening?
Pop out of a garbage can somewhere. He's trying to tell somebody how to grow weed. Right? Because doesn't matter where you come from. So thank you, everyone, for having us on today. We'll catch you next time. I'll see you in Edmonton.
There you go, brother.
Nice.
Peace, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sterling.
That's awesome.
See you soon.
Stay.
That was great.
That was nice of Sterling to have us on his show.
Yeah. I love doing this show.
Oh,
It's
man.
always a good one.
You know,
But man,
it's been-
wow, that's really great stuff. He's such a cool activist and a great personality, and I think it's an effective tool that he's doing. Get people's attention. All these people that are going to be going back to this store, at least give them a dose of info about what they're getting.
When I caught that was going on, the first I was like, this was right out of my playbook.
It's good.
It is because
Hit them where they're at.
I was posting shit up on my old Facebook saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, it'd be great. I got no problem with them opening up stores. It's excellent location for selling our weed outside.
Yeah. So
just
funny.
go stay." I was even posting like people should just go have guys stand around out front and go,
"Hey, you want good stuff?
Yeah. Go see my buddy, red car."
Yeah.
Block around the block. Just go around the block. There's a guy there in a red car. Just talk to him. He's a friend. He'll hook you up, dude. You won't be paying tax. Better price. Yeah.
Have to go back to our old tactics.
Especially once they've been in the store the first time and they know the prices. Now they're like, wait a minute. Yeah. And I think this is also good because I think this shows. I mean, these stores, they're for first timers, the new smokers who, it's legal. Let's go try. Which is great. I got nothing against that.
Right.
But it's excellent for them to go, this is that joint was given to us.
Yeah.
Now they've got a benchmark. It's a comparison.
Yeah. And he's giving away good weed, so.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you can't give away shit weed.
No.
It'd still be better than theirs, but
it's true.
Really good weed.
No, that's the way to do it.
They're buying the shit weed here.
Yeah.
We'll give
they're
you
going to be like, I want more of that free stuff.
The fact that you're giving away the good weed compared to their pot.
Well, that's the point he's making.
Extra slap in the face. It's just like, I'm giving it away.
Yeah.
You guys are selling it at like 5 times the price.
That's a point that they made in the CTV article about this. So CTV covered Sterling's protest there. The headline, "Protesters take aim at corporate cannabis outside Saskatoon's newest pot store," by Colin Thomas at CTV. This is May 31st. But the last paragraph in this actually says, "Protesters were handing out free joints to people on the street to emphasize how inexpensive marijuana can be." Yeah. And I think that's a great point. It's like, if he's there giving it away for free, it shouldn't cost you $69 a gram at City Cannabis Co.
Or 16.
Or 16 or anything
Or
close to that. It
And
should be
there's
more
no
like 3 to
way-
5 if it was all said and done.
Well, and there's no way they could say, well, we have to pay our employees and it's the store. That's not what it is.
They don't need all that stuff, all that
No.
packaging and that fancy store and the
It's
rest of it.
it's not even, that's not the problem. The problem is it's a publicly traded company, and it doesn't matter if you're growing carrots, if you're doing tomatoes, or if you're making pencils.
Right.
Your number one responsibility is to the shareholders, and nobody
Yes.
else is to get in front of that. That is your number one priority.
Legally.
That's so.
Yeah.
With that in mind, it sure isn't about acreages of cannabis in a warehouse or whatever they're doing.
Right.
So you have to at least go into this knowing, okay, what's the priority of these guys? And at that point, everything falls into place. Well, no wonder it's expensive. No wonder the quality's not there. And you can get in, oh, it's the regulations, this, that. But really, it's because their priority is to the shareholders.
Yeah.
And that's it.
100%.
And that's really the end of that. That's all it was. At that point, everything is just
I still think there's a sliding scale of like ethical behavior when it comes to each of the LPs that are there now. Yeah, and I think some of them are better than others. So I don't want to write off every single public company as evil to
absolutely
the
not,
core
no.
or something. But I think there's movies out there about this concept that go beyond cannabis. Movies like The Corporation, which sort of talk in a way about how, at least in the United States, a corporate person, as they call it,
Yes.
would actually be a total psychopath because it doesn't have the capacity to feel negative feelings for doing bad things. And it also doesn't have a body that you can put in jail, so it gets away with murder quite literally.
Literally.
Yeah, and gets fines for it or whatever, as in the case of many corporations in the past. So it's a bigger issue even than cannabis, I think.
One of my
That's,
favorite movies. I own that movie. I've watched it a couple times.
it's pretty brilliantly. The content's amazing, but the way it's filmed and stuff and put together, it's an exciting documentary. Which
It's long and it maintains its excitement.
it does. It keeps you very interested and exposes a lot of crazy stuff that corporations have done. But
It's kind of
also
riveting, actually.
It is riveting. I really enjoyed it a lot, and it's
Well,
not. I don't
in the
agree with
context of
necessarily
cannabis
everything
and what
in
they're
it.
trying
But
to do with so-called legalization. I mean, this is corruption at its finest and at its deepest. It's a great exposition of how they're trying to maximize their products and put down everybody else. I mean, here in Vancouver with the $30,000 licensing fee and all those restrictions and regulations that not based in any type of evidence or science, all obviously there to put these places out of business, to not allow them to operate, to restrict where and how they can operate in ways that are not justified by anything that's going on with respect to harms to society or anything like that. It's not the role of government to do that. It's the role of government to license things that people want to make happen. If you've got a client base and you've got something that client base wants, then if the government needs to have you have a license to do that, well, so be it. But they need to give you a license for that. And it all needs to be reasonable. It all needs to be comparative to other things that they're doing and make sense. And it's obviously not making any sense with respect to the amount of regulations and restrictions and stuff that they're putting on these cannabis dispensaries. And now to have them shut down our main dispensaries in Vancouver, I mean, that's just
Right,
horrible.
so-
You're not going to find anything like this in the government stores.
This
You're not going
is-
to be able to go in there and smell what this smells like, and you can't do it on Pot TV, but in the studio here, that stuff is amazing.
this is some Moby Dick from Craft Resin Co.
it
Amazing
is-
stuff from Craft Resin
The
Co.
smell is like
Let's see that again. Yeah, it's really nice, and this is
angels.
true Moby. You can tell by the smell.
Oh, my
Moby
God.
Dick is one of the most distinctive
I want to
sativas.
roll a bud, Jeremiah.
It is like
Yeah, we should roll one of these up.
The-
This whole bag.
oh.
This does not belong to us. This belongs to Craft Resin Co. But we are allowed to take a little sample
Yeah,
here
we
and there.
can- we can
so we're gonna
smoke it.
take some bong tokes and roll.
we can-
We
we
should
can
roll
roll
a
a
joint.
That's how you just plugged them like
Will
that.
you,
I'm
Neil?
sure
Will
we can
you?
roll a
That's
bud.
the whole purpose. Yes.
There you
And
go,
Craft
Neil.
Resin Co. has some amazing stuff. Seriously awesome. And you can find Craft Resin Co. stuff here at Cannabis Culture in Vancouver. And you can also find Craft Resin Co. or we'll be able to find it very soon at dopethings.ca.
Whoa,
Dopethings.ca. Dopethings.ca.
I like that. That's a great name.
It is. This is from dopethings.ca. They are actually gave us some Pineapple Express to show off on the show as well, which is some nice stuff. So
you mean here I am looking at this? I never even saw that.
Yeah, exactly. There's also Pineapple Express, which is really nice stuff, and it's the true. You can tell it's Pineapple Express. After working at a dispensary for a while, you really start to be able to identify those strains. So, like when I smell this Moby from Craft Resin Co., you can really tell that this is the Moby.
Oh, is that
like,
ever tangy?
Yeah, and it's got yeah, it's really nice stuff. Yeah, that Pineapple Express is also really, really nice.
These two weeds right here on the table are some of the most amazing smelling samples I have actually had the pleasure of enjoying in months.
Quite nice.
Literally, I've been buying mine, quarter pounds of weed personal, and just because that's just the way it goes of good weed, but to get two separate flavors like back to back of like amazing cannabis in the same day is wow.
It's got to sit there. Oh yeah, and this is really nice stuff. Yeah, this Pineapple Express is beyond super. It's very, very nice, and the Moby too. I haven't actually smoked the Moby yet, but I have smoked the Pineapple Express. I'm looking forward to the Moby because from the smell of it, it's the bomb. Should take a hello, Roxanne.
Hey, Roxanne.
Let's see here, yeah. Do you want to come sit down, Roxanne? Yeah.
Where should I sit?
You can sit beside Neil if you want to.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm just assuming it would be the spot. I'm just
one more.
Jumping in here and taking over on Jer's show. Can't help it.
And
how long has it been since we've done shows together? This is this kind of goes
been
back.
A while, I guess.
We used to do a lot of shows.
We did. You used to hop in and co-host shows with me, or just be there. Like at one time, I didn't have a co-host. I just did the show myself, and I would have like rotating people basically doing it with me, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But we always got...
And Jmac's in the house, too. I forgot to mention. Jmac's here.
Yeah, and we always just get fucked up and usually have a really good time.
Yes, we do. And here, check this out here real quick.
Even though we talk about things we're not happy about lots of times.
Look at that. Look at this.
Oh, God.
The Moby.
Very nice.
Moby from Craft Resin Co. Yep. And this is the kind of high-quality
Black market for me.
That's the black market. And we at our lounge here we have our singles and everything, and this is available here. And yeah, there's really not a lot of dispensaries left in Vancouver. Unfortunately, we just had to close, or we were at the closing of the medicinal cannabis dispensary just down the street. The 10 years. Yeah, they've been there for over 10 years, almost 11, and they're closing down on East Hastings.
Well, I was
really
at
sad.
the 10-year anniversary last summer in the park.
Yeah.
They had the big picnic in the park, 10 years.
Yeah.
The community of serving the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to be forced out after,
all the ones that took part in the injunction have been forced out.
The city is like no stranger to Dana, and they know what he's done.
Yeah.
And I mean, under any other circumstances, he would have been awarded Man of the Year.
He still might.
Yeah,
this isn't over yet.
It's not over
true,
yet.
True, but
Dana's done amazing work on every level, and the medicinal cannabis dispensary there was one of the first ones really doing it back in the day. I mean, there were a few others.
Well, they were the third. In
third.
that sort of progression of things.
Yeah.
On the other hand, holy shit, we ran an illegal dispensary that served thousands of people for 10 fucking years.
Yeah, amazing.
Who saw that coming when we first opened that place? It was in defiance of laws, and really, I don't think anybody thought it would be 10 years of operating like a mainstream business. So there's a lot to be happy about with that. But this whole closure is just an immoral, outrageous action by politicians, government, public servants who have no business doing what they're doing, using taxpayer money. It's a complete misuse of public funds.
It's a hostile
on the
takeover.
one hand. It's an absolute hostile
really is.
takeover. And worse, it's a violent gang taking over from an industry that's been thriving and serving people for so long, and they're just trying continually to wipe us out. This is a war that we're still right in the middle of. We're certainly not done yet.
just put things into perspective. We were discussing about the, Tweed and Canopy and their massive, they're factory farms is what they really are.
Yep.
And yet, they can't take a little competition from a dispensary.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of just to throw things into
So
perspective
sad.
that you, with all of your money and your shareholders and your power to be able to do all these things and influence, and you're still actively afraid of a few neighborhood stores.
Yeah.
Because this is what it really is, a neighborhood store. You take away the mail order,
there's
it's
an
a
issue-
neighborhood shop.
If there's an issue with cannabis and people need safe cannabis and people need it to be packaged so it's childproof with warnings all over it, and that's the kind of cannabis that the public is demanding because cannabis is dangerous, and that's the kind of store they want to set up. And there's other stores allowed because stores are allowed, and they don't have safe cannabis. They got just cannabis in jars, and anybody can smell that cannabis, and they don't package it like that. They bag it
that's
in front
not
of you.
what the public's
and let's see
asking
what
for.
the public does.
The public's not asking for that.
About
The
data.
government's
Cool.
telling us that that's what we should have.
I know.
Or we're required.
I'm agreeing
or
with
we're
you, Mick.
needing it.
They're not able to compete with that
Not
market
what we
because the
need.
public would go to the place with the jars without the packaging, without all those warnings and shit, because the public knows better. But they have to use our money, the criminal law, our police force, guns and cages to fucking protect their racket that they've got, and that's what we're
Roxanne,
up
you want a
against.
bong toe?
They're not going to get away with it.
Well, no, but you want to know?
that the
Yeah.
movie?
Oh, yeah. That's what it's for. Now, here's something interesting though that a lot of people we're not taking in because emotions aside, and let's look at the picture for a second. These guys are also, and let's not even talk about the quality of what they're selling. Okay, that's another thing. Let's not worry about the quality. The big problem with these stores and the price they're selling at.
Yeah.
Look what's going on around us. I was recently looking at a headline in the news. I think it was in the Huff Post that's saying right now most people are a paycheck away from bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Okay? So, as a pot smoker, you're going to start shopping with your dollars.
Yeah.
And most people are unable and have no way they're going to go in and spend the money in these kinds of stores. It's out of the budget. So if they want to use weed, they're like, okay, well, what else can I do? Well, hey, they already know. I'm going to get it somewhere else, not those stores. Of course, and if you want to talk about the younger, affluent people that are, moving to this country, like new Canadians and stuff that have, seem to be driving around in very expensive cars, laundering money, even if they have the money, they're not going to go blow it on some garbage product.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Of course
And they've
not.
got the connection, so they don't need to either.
Such a great point.
So,
It's such a
in
great
a way, we just have to kind of sit back and watch those guys collapse because their stock is highly overvalued.
Yeah.
It can't be propped up for long. Their house of cards, the way things are set up, is bound to fail, even if they shut every one of us down. Because again, people are just gonna, you call someone on the phone.
For the non-cannabis
your buddy shows
community.
up to your house.
Yeah.
Or there's fast 420. There's delivery services.
Sorry about the bag.
There will be other ways people will get their,
Well, I
their
mean,
cannabis.
it was cool to go into a legal store
It
and
was.
buy some weed once.
Yeah.
It's not cool to go back and buy it again.
No,
Nor is it
I've never done it,
economical
and it's never
or
been
desirable.
cool. Sorry, no.
No, and when you get an
no.
eighth or even just a gram of that stuff, you can instantly tell that it's not very good. Like as soon as even when you look at it, sometimes it smells okay, but when you break it up, when you smoke it, there's something not right. And if you put it under the microscope, it is not good stuff. Like there's no trichomes on it. It doesn't really get you high.
And I don't care if
it looks like it's been tumbled.
I don't care if it's black market weed or I don't care where it comes from. If I can go like this and crush it into dust, and no,
Right.
thank you. I don't like right away. I'm like, this isn't fresh. This is old, dried up gack.
Yeah.
That's what we call that shit.
And
gack.
it's not. And we had stuff that had mold in it as well. Like
and
when
dead
we went and bought
bugs.
when you look under the microscope, there's bug shit and dead bugs all over it, which is really bad.
Well, because rather than get
Yeah.
rid of the bug problem, don't worry, because we're going to irradiate it.
Yeah.
exactly.
So that'll kill it already. And like
They
See, a
blast it
bug
with
doesn't
gamma
matter. It's
rays.
been irradiated. It's safe bug now.
Yeah,
it's safe now. Because
safe to smoke that bug shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
We irradiated it
Don't worry
for
about
you.
it. It's just a carcass. It won't hurt
By
you.
the way, we also irradiated all the value of the other cannabinoids while we were at it, but at least the bugs aren't going to bug you now.
Yeah.
Bunk, wild dragon.
No, they've just been offloading
bunk.
all that bunk that they've
is
been
bunk.
growing experimentally for all this time,
Oh, look,
leading up to
Glenn's,
where they are.
Glenn Wells. Hey,
It's-
Glenn.
Oh, we got Glenn in there.
It's not the
Chat, too.
Canadian market that they give a shit about. They don't care if they destroy it. In fact, that's what the governments and the other competing companies would like. This is about the
$6
international
for a
market.
decent gram
This is
in
about selling
Washington
overseas.
State.
This is about a huge European market, a huge market around the world that they're actually targeting. And if they are growing anything that's decent, it's going to go there. And
Are
not
you
here.
vested in the stock market?
No,
Legalization's not for you.
no.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
It's
it.
not for you.
Exactly. Well said. Is there a grinder? I'm going to grind up a little bit of this Pineapple Express as well. Anybody else want a bong toke of the Moby? Jmac does.
Jmac.
Jmac. Here, let's grab that one.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate what's been going on. But first of all, too, I don't want anyone to think that I'm against anyone making money.
No.
I have no problem with guys going in the stock market, and this was legalization. This was coming, and you'd be foolish to not think that it wasn't.
Right.
We want inclusion.
Right.
And the regulations, it's not even a matter of allowing in concentrates at this point. It's no. We can't. You can't turn around and say, yeah, we're going to legalize weed and tell you how to grow it.
Right.
Okay, that. And another thing, you can't also don't legalize something and tell and make the announcement and say, oh, but we don't want it to be cool. Right. Well, if you're going to legalize it, it's none of your concern at that point.
Right.
Marketing and such.
Yeah.
As long as, I understand, okay, we're not going to keep it away from kids. And so,
And I
okay, I
understand
get
if they don't
that
want
too.
like TV ads or something.
Exactly.
Like they have with other things. Unfortunately, not with alcohol, but they have with tobacco. Like I wouldn't even be that mad if they were like, well, you can't advertise cannabis on TV or in magazines or whatever, right? But still, I mean, I think you should be allowed to advertise it in TV and magazines. Yeah, but I mean, at least
especially in a world where at sporting events, I was watching
Yeah,
the hockey
especially
game
in a
last
magazine.
night, and they got all these commercials for beer and hard liquor during the hockey game. I was thinking, do I want to be sitting here with my 12-year-old nephew watching them glorify alcohol? I don't think so.
No.
And they wouldn't allow an advertisement that would talk about the benefits medically of cannabis and cannabinoids.
Yeah.
Well, this world is still upside down.
they're
obviously.
forcing. They're
you
almost
can't
forcing
even display
people.
a pot leaf on an image of a
In
pot
Quebec.
leaf in Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what?
No more pot shirts.
like a
nothing with a
cultural
pot.
war.
Nothing with 420 on it.
No symbol.
It's-
You can't-
You're not allowed to sell any of that in Quebec, which I think is funny because people just say, "Well, fuck you. I'm going to order it online from another Canadian distributor."
Right.
Where they don't check the mail.
And we would hope that a lot of people are displaying their cannabis leaves proudly in Quebec. You know?
I'm sure they are.
Because, freedom is what's at stake
Since
here. If you let the government tell you
recently
can't
with the
display
legalization.
a leaf of a medical herb, then I mean, holy shit, are we ever not free yet?
No kidding.
A lot of work to do. It's
So,
bad.
but it gets.
Even if we just had the same rights as alcohol or tobacco, where you can buy commercial tobacco in every gas station in all of Canada, it doesn't matter how close they are to schools or anywhere else. Every grocery store, every gas station has commercial tobacco for sale.
Yeah.
And alcohol.
If you
Still
can
problem.
if there's places that you can get alcohol and tobacco, you should be able to have cannabis there too, as a deterrent from buying the other things.
Exactly.
You mean like in Ontario corner stores?
Exactly. Or like cannabis should be allowed everywhere since it's a safe alternative to alcohol and tobacco.
substitute.
And by not having the ads allowed on TV, they're virtually brainwashing people to think that alcohol is good and that you can get it everywhere, and then banning cannabis from existence essentially in people's minds.
That's because drunk people are easy to control, and
Yes.
And when you're drunk, you're stupid enough to believe the bullshit that's being spewed by the government.
I don't know that drunk people are easy control, but I guess maybe people who drink liquor, it's not like cannabis where it kind of liberates your mind in a few ways.
Well, cannabis makes you ask questions where being drunk is just, and then, but we're lowering the price of, right. It's life's a party, from
And how about
drinker's point of view, from a hard drinker's point of view, life is a party.
Imagine if cannabis had even a fraction of the dangers of alcohol. they already make such a big fuss about cannabis when it really doesn't have any dangers. Could you imagine if it even had, we'd be hearing about every single one. The fact that anybody has ever died from alcohol abuse is, there's nobody ever died from cannabis. So you can't talk to us about
So Transport Canada now has come out with this edict that no flight crew in the cabin of a plane or pilots can have cannabis
days.
for
28 days
before their shift.
I know.
Like,
What
talk
a
about
joke.
continuing the reefer madness and the stigmatization. I mean, they can go out and drink 72 hours or whatever it is before they fly the planes. I'm sure the flight crew themselves don't have much stipulation about that.
and that includes medical users.
And they're also allowed to take prescription medicine and other things. It's just, they're just continuing the reefer madness and the lies to justify their regulations, and it's just horrible. It's not that I want to necessarily to have a pilot smoking weed before he flies.
No.
But I prefer that to alcohol and some pharmaceuticals. That's for sure.
my job as a passenger.
And if you're using cannabis properly, it's a focusing tool. So, I probably, if I knew the pilot and was friends with him, I'd be fine with him smoking some weed or
Incidentally,
I would say, I'd prefer that they don't take any sort of
Sure.
substance that alters their consciousness in any way,
Well,
just
what
in
if it alters
case.
it in a positive way, though?
Well, I mean, on an airplane.
I've been smoking pot long enough to know. Trust me, I think I want my pilot not
I
to
do
be
some stoner
smoking
shit.
pot.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I was just I wasn't talking necessarily pot. I was just suggesting with what Jeremiah said about you don't want him on anything that alters the
Shrooms.
mind. But there are things that alter your mind in a positive way, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. That's a hard one. There seems to be a lot to do in an airplane, right? Like even driving a car, fine. Driving a car, you could smoke your, as long as you're not dabbing too hard or something. It seems fine driving a vehicle. But an airplane seems like there's a lot of stuff you have to do at the same time. Like you got to be very aware.
No,
there's
actually,
I don't
I've
even
flown a
want
plane,
the guy
Jeremiah, and I'll tell you,
finding-
there's no ditches up there. Everything's done automatically. You put it on autopilot, you can sit back and
All right.
relax.
Well-
and really, there is lots of time up there.
Not an emergency, though.
I'm not suggesting that either. I wasn't talking about cannabis. I was simply talking about the concept of whether or not it would be a good idea to take something that would alter your mind in some way. And because there's so much that maybe you need to be aware of, especially it's when shit goes bad that you need to have your pilot thinking straight, right? Absolutely, for sure. So what if there's a pill you could take as a pilot that would get your mind really focused and be able to multitask the way that you might need to do if shit's hitting the fan up there?
Yeah.
So those types of things are the future, I'm sure. I'm sure the Army has all kinds of pills and shit that they give their pilots to help them focus better when they're up there. And if they don't on a regular basis, they certainly have on trial basis because that's part of their artillery and our arsenal as well.
Yeah.
So cannabis can be a focusing tool, although that's not necessarily what I was talking about there at all. But for me as a driver, I'm more focused if I'm driving a long haul. If I've got cannabis to help keep me focused from the pain that I would have in my arthritic joints otherwise, it helps with that. And I think that their edict about 28 days is just ludicrous and ridiculous and needs to be exposed again as our government not using evidence and science to justify what's going on, even though that's what they said they were doing. And the science they're using is that 28 days is about how long it takes for THC to work its way right out of your fatty tissues. But there is no effect psychologically, no evidence of that. And there's cherry picking information, and they're not using reason in how they're sorting this stuff out.
If you're not a heavy smoker, if you're not a heavy
Right.
smoker, you can probably piss a test strip clean after 28 days. But you and me, 28 days, we're probably still going to test positive.
Oh yeah.
Probably too, yeah.
So what it boils down to from Transport Canada, and it's very similar to Health Canada, okay? Mm-hmm. Their mandate isn't to keep us all sort of safe, although they try to pretend that's what it is.
Right.
It's to prevent the airlines from getting sued because of one of their practices. So if they came along and say, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to enact this rule, this 28-day rule. Now, all the airlines, as long as they all follow the rule, don't worry, you won't be able to get sued if some shit hits the fan. And that's why they're doing it. Not because, you're impaired or you want to get into the arguments that you're presenting.
What I'm presenting is it's continuing
Neil,
the
what
reefer
you're doing
madness.
is you're missing. I know it continues
But I'm
reefer
agreeing with
madness,
you.
but you got to
I'm agreeing with
understand
you.
why they do things.
Yeah.
So when you understand why they're doing it, it's a lot easier to actually engage them and try to get them to say, hey, there is an hypocrisy. Again, it's going back to the insurance companies.
Yeah, there again.
Dealing
Same
with that is another animal in itself.
Yeah.
I would rather deal with politicians for the rest of my life than have to deal with a damn insurance company. Trust me.
Well, that's why there's disclaimers on everything.
Not easy to deal with those guys.
That's like you're dealing with the biggest bear in the world if you're taking on insurance.
No, and
So
you're
I did want to
That's why
talk
they put
about
disclaimers on things.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about something that I brought up early in the show that we haven't come back to, and that's an article here in the National Post. The headline is RCMP went silent about massive pot bust over concern for marijuana producers' stock price, documents reveal. So this is canopy growth they're talking about, and
what is their stock today? Do you know?
I don't know.
Can you look that up
Neil
first
should be
quickly,
able to look
Neil,
that
what
up.
the canopy's worth today on the market?
Yeah, we'll look that up.
Where they're at?
And we're going to get into this article here that was written by Douglas Kwan of the National Post. It's a really great article. I'm going to load up another bong toke. By the way, these bong tokes were awesome. The Moby is amazing.
I'm smoking a bowl of Moby.
Oh yeah, you got the Moby. Actually, wait, I only hit the pineapple. That's not the Moby. I want to hit the Moby too. We need more of that Moby. But the pineapple is also awesome.
Sorry.
Dopethings.ca, Craft Resin Co. Check them
I
out.
think Neil's got the stock price.
Well, I was going to show you Google's screen. It shows me the stock price before anything else, as if there was anything else.
Wow.
First
Wow.
hit, right? That's the very first
56.11
really
cents.
matters.
$56.11 a share for Canopy. Wow.
Is that what it is?
That's it.
How many
$56.
shares?
It's up 85
And 11
cents,
cents.
1.54%. Oh my God.
That's because they closed Dana's place in Green Cross without a fuss.
56.36. Oh my God.
And now they decided they can just barricade your dispensary with concrete blocks.
Yep. So in this article, Canopy apparently was bringing in, this is the spring of 2014, officers in Kelowna, BC, prepared a press release about a big drug bust at the local airport. It described how investigators had intercepted 2 shipments of marijuana of unfathomable quantity that were bound for a couple of licensed cannabis producers in Ontario. The press release, however, was never sent. And what we find out is that Canopy Growth, so Tweed was one of the companies, and the RCMP basically they found out about all this stuff and they just kept completely silent about it. And the reason they kept silent about it is because in their own documents it says this, that they were worried about the stock price going down because it was around the same time that Canopy was just going public, right? So they really, of course, that's a weird thing. The police, you would think, don't usually bust companies or investigate crimes based on how that will affect the people's stock prices of the company they're busting. That's kind of unheard of.
Unless they're influential people.
Well,
Only
right.
because we haven't heard of it before, because we don't hear about these things, because these things are usually done without any scrutiny. Yeah.
Biggest pot bust in Canadian history.
Yeah.
But it would have been on that list. They would have been bragging about it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
they would have been showing off a room full of weed. They would have had a big display, invited all the press. Oh, look at all the drugs
Unfathomable.
we're keeping off the street.
Unfathomable quantity.
That press release. That copy of that document.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Yes, an unfathomable amount.
Some humongous amount.
So the National Post first sought access to these records 5 years ago through an access to information request, and the RCMP initially refused to release any records, citing an ongoing investigation. And the Post had to complain to the Federal Information Commissioner, resulting in a process that dragged on until last fall when the RCMP finally agreed to process some of the records. And that's when this stuff come out. So they've been really working hard to cover this stuff up and keep it really out of the public's eye. So this is some nasty
SNC
stuff.
Lavaland comes to mind, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, we're seeing a lot of this from the Liberal government, where corporations seem to be getting away with things that a citizen would never get away with.
Right. They get a sweet deal.
Right. And the Lavalin thing is the same thing. That company was
look
accused.
at the ex-cops that are involved in the management and operations of these illegal, production facilities, right? So, there's
Right.
some inside people there to help out with stuff like that.
And so Tweed and Metrum were smuggling in, apparently hockey bags full of
An
weed.
unfathomable
An
amount.
unfathomable amount of hockey bags full of marijuana, and claiming that it was legal to do it because it was the genetics or clones or other things, the seedlings and stuff like that, which they are allowed to bring in, but not in those types of quantities.
I can fathom quite a bit.
Or hockey bags.
Right,
I can fathom quite a bit.
or in hockey bags.
And they're supposed to
Like,
declare it.
that's kind of a nice touch,
Good
though.
packaging
That's a
on
good
that.
street
Is that
gang
regulation
touch.
That's
packaging on that?
OG.
Yeah,
Somebody's
that's
OG.
like-
They go, yeah,
that's
man,
some
we'll
street
use hockey
shit.
bags.
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
hockey bags.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they use in the movies, right?
Well, guess where they learned that from?
I think I was from a Steven Seagal movie or something, right? They said, oh yeah, we'll use a black hockey bag.
Right, it's crazy stuff. And so
Then it doesn't look like them, I guess, eh? Who would think that
Yeah.
they'd be doing that with black hockey bags? So, just another way to be
I'm
subversive.
sure they weren't the same hockey bags that like Tweed gives away with their name on it. It's like
But
as
there's
promo
also-
material.
there's
oh, wait,
also
that's
lies.
A golf bag.
So it says here in the article that the company Tweed put out its own statement when some of this stuff was coming out, because there's a whole, you guys got to go and read the article. It's
You know,
really
I kind of remember part of this. It made the news, I think, and then it died. Like it
Right.
just went away.
right. There was some bust or whatever in the mix, but Bruce Linton put out a press release. The guys from Tweed. If you go and read this article here, it says, we should go back to this part here. It was 700 kilograms of BC bud stored in 55 hockey bags and 40 boxes. Yeah. And a draft press release prepared by the Kelowna RCMP media relations officer on April 1st noted that the seizure was of a quantity rarely seen in the central Okanagan. So, this is according to the police, several local growers had pooled the products for transfer, but the shipment fell outside the parameters of the legislation and was subsequently seized by police, it said in their press release that never got released. Adding that the size of the shipment was enough to create 2.1 million single doses based on a 0.3 gram cigarette. So they're rolling 0.3s, which is sad.
And
by
calling it a
itself.
dose.
We call those pinners.
Yeah, they are definitely toothpicks.
calling it a dose.
So, but then it says a couple days later, on April 3rd, the day before Tweed was listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, this is their stock market stuff, the company put out its own statement. Tweed said it had completed the acquisition of seeds and plants from a number of licensed growers, ensuring a wide variety of choices and sufficient inventory to meet demand. The company acknowledged that one shipment had been held up by the RCMP while it confirms the details of the shipment. In an effort to be transparent, the statement continued, the RCMP was informed of the shipment and invited to examine the material. Well, that was not true. In that press release, they lied to their own shareholders and everybody else that they're talking to. They said that they invited the RCMP to take a look at it. That did not happen. And so that Tweed chairman Bruce Linton told Post Media at the time that the seizures may have been the result of confusion over the old and new regulatory regimes.
Their department of spin doctors are paid a lot of money to come up with those statements in those ways, you know?
Right.
It was the new hockey bag, yeah.
And then Bruce said to Post Media, when you call police to say, come look at this, you believe you have everything in order, he said. Well, they did not do that. And it says here in internal emails, RCMP officers wrote that it was painful to not be able to respond and that the company's version of events was a long way from what transpired. Right. The cops in their own thing said he was lying. And then, quote, I find their language very interesting / misleading, considering there were no plants, seeds, or in-production material, Constable Chris Clark, Kelowna's media officer,
just bud.
wrote to his colleagues, or her colleagues possibly. Officers also balked at the company's assertion that it had invited the RCMP to inspect the shipment. So they didn't actually. Brief notes indicate that in the week prior to the seizures, RCMP received several calls from airline charter companies inquiring about the legitimacy of transporting 150 pounds of 1,500 pounds of marijuana. Tweed never came to us. The airline did. Constable Shane Holmquist wrote to colleagues.
Oh, it's that Shane Holmquist.
Holmquist involved in this.
Oh, wow. He's involved.
Wow.
Oh, shit. There's a name.
He's the expert.
He's the
that was
lying
in court.
expert.
Yeah,
In court
and
for
at the Phelan case.
Yeah.
If it's the same guy.
It sounds like.
I mean, it's the
or
same.
Or maybe he's a relative.
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, really, how many Holmquist is it? You see in the
Right.
news about pot things who's on the police. Come on.
Yeah, and I can't remember. Was his name Shane? I don't know.
No,
but
I don't think it was, though.
So maybe it's somebody. There's many Holmquists out there, I bet.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow. Inspector John Ibbotson told a colleague in an email that although the company's statement may appear to be a standard press release, it is in fact a news release intended to inform investors of a publicly traded company of a significant event surrounding a company's activity. Noting that some of the information in Tweed's release was factually incorrect, Ibbotson suggested there had been a violation of Section 400 of the Criminal Code related to making false prospectus and wondered if the Ontario Security Commission should be notified. Yet, for several more days, RCMP communications officers declined to set the record straight, trotting out the standard line that they could not confirm or deny an investigation. So, wow.
See, there's something right there. You know, like the big downfall was you don't come out and make a statement and try to use the RCMP as an alibi without running it by them first, because it gets their noses out of joint. And especially if, you know, then they have to answer to higher ups that come around and say, oh, no, you have to, like, you know, look the other way. We're going to change the story here. So they're choked. They don't like doing that. There's a lot of cops.
It's true.
They don't want to, they don't like being used.
No,
they don't. They've got that power trip thing. They just don't like it.
But in this case,
with a lot of them.
Maybe too many of their buddies or former cops have stock in the whole thing.
That's exactly what. Guaranteed. And also, it's not just former cops, but we have former politicians who were like justice ministers and things like that too. So worked in the justice industry. We have prison people.
Prohibitionists.
There's a lot of people who, prohibitionists who are now benefiting. Who they said, and like I said, and this is what I've mentioned before, how you divide and conquer. So
it goes into even more here, because there was worries about it affecting Health Canada in a negative way. And
probably goes right to the Prime Minister's office of who would be embarrassed by something like that. You know?
This is insane because Sergeant Duncan Pound, then a federal policing spokesman in BC, wrote to one of his colleagues and said, with some luck, the media may dig up the facts and print them without the RCMP having to go public with any details and face the complications that would create. Yeah. And so, in other
pressure
emails,
from the PMO.
That's what I'm wondering. What are these?
Exactly.
What are the pressures, or what are these complications? Yeah. But some of these other emails point out what those complications might be. Quote: the heart of the problem is that Health Canada has gone on record as saying they authorized the shipment, which has and will continue to cause us grief trying to set the record straight. Pound wrote. Ideally, he continued, Health Canada should issue a statement saying the shipment contravened regulations and were not what they had authorized. Quote, if Health Canada says nothing, it looks like two ministries working against each other, which is a lose-lose for both of us.
Because they authorized the clone sale, but not the flower sale. That was an illegal drug deal.
Right.
Yep.
Wow. So the Health Canada is authorizing illegal drug deals.
Yeah, they're complicit. Gee,
wow. Yeah.
Well, it's not that surprising to me.
I almost wonder if somebody couldn't make a case for stock manipulation.
And here it goes on. Jolene Bradley, the RCMP's Director of Strategic Communications, in Ottawa, presented a briefing document to the Deputy Commissioner for Federal Policing on April 10th, advising that the force should continue to decline comment. Among the reasons she cited, going public would likely bring criticism on Health Canada's part, as it would highlight the deficiencies in the transition to the new regulations. The same document also stated that, quote, any comments by the RCMP could impact stock prices for the producers.
They didn't want to throw no shade.
And even that's a washed version of the truth.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Don Roberts, an RCMP communication strategist in BC, similarly wrote in an email to a colleague that Tweed is, quote, is a publicly traded company and any comments could impact on stock prices. So several police officers commenting to each other about stock prices.
Maybe it's all just, people making mistakes, but it sure does seem to be convenient for the big players.
That's just stock manipulation. It is. That really is. That's like withholding information that should have been out there, and these stocks again, the value is not what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. So
highly
I've got to
overvalued.
run shortly here. Just wanted to mention the CSP is still going strong. The clients continue to grow in size as far as the lineup goes. We lost one of our main donators in the medicinal cannabis dispensary. Closing that location has really been a big hit for them. They're probably not going to be able to continue to support us as they have. So we do have some needs for some donation. donators, and if anybody knows and can help, what we do is hand out care packs of high-dose edibles to people on the downtown east side twice a week. We're in our 28th month of doing that, and we're keeping these people alive and healthy.
Yeah.
And,
Trailblazer.
Neil.
Trailblazer.
Very good work.
Yeah, so anyway, just wanted to say that before I go, and keep fighting this fight, because these corporations are really doing nasty things in shutting out these businesses, closing down our best dispensaries.
That's why I'm coming out of retirement, my friend. I'm coming back to cause
thank
some
you for
shit.
that, and we need a few others to do that as well. And people thinking of retiring, we're not done yet. It's not over. This is not legalization. This is not freedom. This is just more of the same, and maybe even considerably more of the same prohibition bullshit that we've been dealing with all along here.
Yeah.
So don't support your LPs.
I
until,
thought you guys had this, and then I realized, oh fuck no.
Yeah, no. Legalize and regulate to them didn't mean what it meant to us, for sure.
Well, they always need more weed, because there's a lot of, you guys are giving away a lot of packages, and it's all,
Yeah, let's overgrow the government.
No, it's a great thing you're doing. It really,
helps a lot of people.
It's a necessary thing for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a no-brainer, really, especially, and now the studies are coming out to confirm that. But I mean, we knew it going in when I first started this project, that cannabis helps people get off of those opioids. I knew too many people that told me that they stopped their opioid habit because they got into cannabis, and cannabis has saved their life. So it was really a no-brainer. Somebody had to do that. Nobody was acting on it. I went to City Hall and asked them to help with it. Got nothing. And so just grassroots, group of volunteers that show up every week, and donators that come through with more than I can imagine. It boggles every week. It's epic. It's like, here's boxes and boxes of stuff that we're giving out to people, and how that continues to sustain itself is just a beautiful thing to see. Mm-hmm. It's taken on a real life of its own, but we may be in a bit of trouble for the ability to keep it going the way we are and to meet the demand, because of the government shutting down these places that have been helping us. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, good work, Neil.
Jeremiah, thanks for doing what you do. Getting the word out is so important. And to Sterling, what he's doing.
That's awesome.
Maybe go knocking on some of these legal stores and ask them for a donation.
They came to me, actually. I had a representative of Canopy Growth come and say, we'd like to help you, support you, and protect you. Oh, by the way, would you consider just using legal weed? And my first reaction was, well, no, not if that means that I have to, stop using the donations that we get from good people who really just want to help with this crisis. And then I told him after that, I said, well, actually, you could consider everything that we're giving out to be legal weed, because everybody's allowed to have 4 big plants, and they can give that away in a cooperative of people putting their stuff together and donating into edibles that we're giving out to people. Everything's legal, so sure, go ahead, help us and support us and protect us. And I haven't heard anything back from them. So, and that was back around Christmas time. Yeah. So here we are several months later. People are still dying at unbelievable rates from this overdose crisis. And, they should be stepping up yesterday to help, not waiting for some time in the future when they can feel that they've really got control of it and that they're the only ones behind it, and not for any of the right reasons that you would want to help our project. All they're concerned about is their money and their shareholders, and whether they can have the monopoly on it and cut everybody else out of it. It's got nothing to do with let's help poor people that are dying because of prohibition and poverty in this country. So their motives are all business. They're not human. They're not ethical. And really, I want no part of that. If they offered me weed, I guess I'd take it, but I wouldn't give it out to our regular lineup. I'd form a separate project, and we'd give out LP weed to that project, and we'd monitor both groups and take lots of information to find out whether their weed would compare with the weed that's grown with love in people's gardens and homes.
I advise you to take a look at it first, maybe put it under the microscope before you give it out to anybody.
It would come with warnings. We probably have to package it like really heavily and put warnings on it before we can give it to people.
That's why.
Skull and crossbones. That's what it should be on every package of LP weed. A skull and crossbones. With warning.
Well, with 21 pesticides that they're allowed to use,
you need to have that
including
stuff
from Monsanto.
Heavily.
That
it should have warnings on it.
It should probably have a warning on it.
Nobody should go there and buy that shit, and you certainly shouldn't consume it.
What about organic cannabis? Somebody should have organic cannabis only, no pesticides, grow it the right way.
It depends what organic means too, right? Well, we live in a world where sometimes the label organic doesn't really mean what we would like it to mean with respect to our health and how things are produced.
Yeah, the grocery store.
So we have to be careful about that when the LPs come up with their organic cannabis as well. they can't be trusted. That's what they've proven. That's what we know so far.
Right.
And until they prove otherwise, that's going to be our stance. And I welcome them to prove otherwise. I welcome them to join a real community of people who care about each other and giving people good quality stuff at good prices and not maximizing profits at the expense of patients.
You know,
I welcome them into that type of a world.
Do you know how you
93
can tell,
sprays says Wild Dragon there.
Do you know how you can
I didn't know it was that
tell
high.
we've got a really good legal cannabis system? Is when you can go down to your Saturday morning farmer's market, like say on the North Shore or wherever, like Lonsdale Quay or whatever.
Lots of them around, yeah.
And there'd be at least 3 different people set up selling cannabis.
Yeah.
Like farmer's market style. Just they brought down their crops.
Wow.
That's
Not
when you-
LP
that's-
weed.
That's when you know we have real legalization.
That's right.
Because
Right, I
that's
see
what
what you're
you're
saying.
going to see.
Yes.
At local, farmers markets, because then farmers there's people there who are bringing in their baked goods, they're bringing in their vegetables, they're bringing in, whatever they're making, right? Their eggs and stuff, free range eggs, like real free range, because that's the people get up Saturday morning, and I mean, on your day off to get up early Saturday morning to go down there, it's obviously for a good reason.
And I got to give a
people
shout out
do this
to what we got in
regularly.
Vancouver
So
here.
that's what legalization means to me.
And we have that going on in Vancouver, not legally, but we have the 420 Farmers Market that sets up at Thornton Park Saturdays and Sundays. They were the Robson Square vendors. It's the Canna Garden. Dave Hill's in jail right now for what happened there in Robson Square. And those people are still setting up all over the place. They've come down to Vandu
pop-up
and set up
markets.
their pop-up
Sure.
dab stand and given dabs out to our lineup on several occasions. And I really want to give a shout out. Dylan is part of that crew. He was there with Sterling in Calgary.
Yep.
And they're still fighting that fight, and we really need to support them and maybe find ways to help them do what they're doing in some other ways. Because now that they're shutting down dispensaries and a lot of people that were selling weed are out of work, maybe we could pop up and find some other markets and things to do that. And like you say, farmers markets would be great.
Also,
That's
if you
really
get into that whole farmers market, people in there. Well, there's a lot of older folks that are, weed friendly and smoke cannabis. So it might be also prudent to say, the old lady that makes the great pies, talk to her. She might go, yeah, I'd like to grow some of those plants. And she might, you never know, she might be bringing down her buds next time to show
can sell
off.
all these
right?
other things they've grown. Why
next
not
to
some
her
cannabis?
pies and stuff. That to me. So there's, I think, just kind of stepping back and doing our own thing a lot in that kind of way. I think that's an easy one to promote. You're and I've always said that the real power comes from when you're a community, not from the government or everything. Right. It goes from the bottom up, not from the top down.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
Yep.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
it,
guys.
buddy.
Thanks, Roxanne.
Thanks,
You can say
Roxanne,
nothing,
as
but
well.
stop in
Yeah,
real
and
quick.
Roxy, appreciate you
And
coming
Roxanne,
in.
we
Nice
didn't
to see
even,
you.
we hadn't,
It's
we
nice to
should have
see
grabbed
you.
the microphone.
I was supposed to say
Oh, you're
anything.
cool, of course.
Hi.
She's over there.
And what?
She's reading a
You haven't, smoked,
magazine.
you haven't smoked any of the government weed yet, right?
No, I will.
No.
Good for you.
Yeah, you
I will
shouldn't.
not.
Don't
Yeah, you'll
even
make you
bother.
sick.
Not
Don't-
after what you
don't-
just
no.
told me.
No.
It'll make
The
you
bugs
sick.
and
You,
stuff.
you cannot pay me to.
Yeah, it's not. No,
Thank you.
no. Got to stick with the old good stuff. How was the bong toke? How was your bong toke, Roxanne?
It was very, very good.
Yeah, that's.
And now I hear that there's
Craft Resin Co. Moby.
some of these stores,
I'm very
legal
buzzed.
stores, are now continuing to advocate for more enforcement of the black market out. So
I'm very buzzed from the bong
You
toke.
know, why
Good.
would they also want
Yeah,
to shut
it's
down
very
more
buzzed on the bong
enforcement?
toke.
They
The
can't
Moby,
even
the
keep
Moby's
their
got a good
shelves
buzz to it.
stocked.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it, and thanks for coming on the show, Roxanne, as well. Oh, you look great. Absolutely.
I like your shirt. Fight.
I do like the shirt. Where'd you get that one? Army Navy, you got that.
Fight.
Show him the shirt. Yeah. There you go. I love it. All right. All right.
than
Another
polite.
bong
Better than
toke here. And this is the Craft Resin Co. Moby that she was smoking, which is nice stuff. And this is the Pineapple Express from dopethings.ca that you can order directly to your house. So look up dopethings.ca.
pineapple?
That's the pineapple. Did you have one of these yet? Taste that.
try
This one's
that.
for you then, brother.
A
Yeah.
bong rip. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do I know how to
yeah.
work? Can you tell me how to work? Look at that disgusting water in there. Why doesn't that change? That's horrid.
Uh-oh. We're all good.
Why
It's
didn't
okay.
anybody change this?
It's not so bad.
That's disgusting.
That's not terrible.
Not
that dirty.
Next week I'm going to have to do a bong inspection. If I had noticed that, I would have switched that out right off.
We just grabbed it off the shelf.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's probably been there for.
It's like dusting crap.
Yeah. It's clear though. Pretty clear, fairly clear. It's a little dirty, but. Jmac, you're gonna have a. Hey, landlord's in the house. You want to come sit down, landlord?
I can go see Neil for a minute. Well, say hi.
Oh, okay. Come and say hi.
Hey!
Landlord's here. And Jmac.
Hey, Jmac, how's it going, man?
Bye, guys.
Hey, man, smoke weed every day?
Hell yeah, how you been?
20, I can't wait till Cannabis Day.
Cannabis
How many days
Day,
till Cannabis
July
Day?
1st, Vancouver, Thornton Park, Pacific Central.
I don't have my hat or coat. I know I'm on a uniform today.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
I'll be there.
Right,
Landlord.
I didn't think I was going to be
No,
there,
I don't
but
do bong hits, sorry.
I'm not leaving till.
You don't want one?
Yeah, a few days later.
Okay. You've never had a bong toke?
Oh,
No.
That's delicious. That was good, even with the scummy water. It was
Yeah,
still good.
it is delicious. Yeah, that's the Moby. That's the Moby. That's nice stuff. I wish I could give it to you. It doesn't belong to me. But you can hear, I can give you this one because this one's mine. Here, this is the Pineapple Express from dopethings.ca. Try that. And if you want more, go dopethings.ca.
My arm, I need smoke because this is the nitrous patch for my heart. That's
Oh,
what-
shit.
So I try to find cannabis lately because I don't want to put a nitrous patch on no more.
Are you okay? Is everything going
Well,
okay?
I haven't put it on lately. I'm waiting for a pacemaker, so.
Oh, shit.
I put a nitrous patch on today. So
Wow.
I'd rather
Landlord's
smoke
getting a
weed.
pacemaker.
Wow.
Landlord, you should speak at Cannabis Day.
Yeah,
We'll get you up on stage.
I'll be there.
All
I'll be
right.
speaking at Cannabis Day, actually.
Yes, sir.
Just actually, you asked me what today?
Yep.
Or
You should
today
definitely
or
speak.
yesterday? I forget.
Sometime.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yesterday or today? We had a
can't
meeting
remember.
yesterday. Yeah, we had a meeting.
J-Mac, hit the Pineapple Express.
You're a J-Mac?
Okay.
Bong ripper.
And you guys hit the Craft Resin Co. Moby earlier, which was
Yeah, like
delicious. Stuff looks amazing. Let's take another look at this stuff on the weed cam, the bud cam here.
Alrighty, you do her.
This is the pineapple that J-Mac's smoking. Pineapple Express.
I just hit that shit, and it is pretty tasty.
It's very fruitful.
Ooh, it's nice. It's very smooth too.
And this is the Moby from Craft Resin Co.
Which I'm absolutely. I got a chubby on that one. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hit it, J-Mac. Oh, he's on. There he is. But look at that bud. Damn.
That's the Moby. Oh.
That's the Moby.
Yeah, you can tell. That's the pine.
That's the pineapple.
Piney apple-y.
It's nice stuff. Looks good.
Pineappolis.
Pineappolis.
That's a nice place. Have you been to
done.
Pineappolis?
Never been.
Oh, it's pretty
I'd
good.
like to go, but
Yeah, it's smoky.
Pineappolis.
Smells nice.
The pineapple cam.
If there was a place, Pineappolis, it would really, people be like, yeah, I'd go there. They got some, I hope they got weed, because if they did, it sounds like a Pineappolis. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No,
J-Mac,
but I have
hit
been.
that shit.
I've been to
Look at that bong
Minneapolis.
tug. Slam that thing.
Whoa.
You got the bowl comes out, by the way.
Yeah, pull your bowl, blast her down.
Yeah. Just so you know. And that's High Guy. I love the High Guys. That's Blondie, the High Guy. I haven't seen High Guys around these days, but hammer it. Bam. Nice. J-Mac on the bong. And so I believe we have a video to play as well here, don't we? This is a video about the closure of the medicinal cannabis dispensary up the street, Dana's place that he's had for almost 11 years. This is from Breakfast Television?
No, this is from
Oh, it's from us. Oh, good. So Neil's got it.
Because it's zoned for industrial use, we can't have a dispensary here. And it's very frustrating to see this happen, especially when City Hall is having a meeting in a couple of days to talk about how to increase cannabis access in the downtown east side. And here we are serving the downtown east side community for 10 years, We provide a large amount of free cannabis for the High Hopes Foundation and the Cannabis Substitution Project. We try to make sure everybody in this area can get access to quality cannabis, whether they can afford it or not. And so to shut us down very aggressively while at the same time saying that they need more cannabis access to the downtown east side seems rather hypocritical to me.
I know, I'm one of the original members, and I remember when it opened up. I remember when Dana fought. I remember the BC Compassion Club. I remember all of it. This is wrong. This is our culture. You cannot take a 10,000 year medicine away from the public by the government. It doesn't belong to you. It actually belongs to the poor people for their healing, because they can't afford your medication. It should be our choice under a charter right what we use and how we use it. And I feel that by this closing, you're charging my access. I cannot access my medication. It's in my neighborhood, and that's wrong. So wrong. Bad. Shame on you, Vancouver. Shame.
We've had a lot of other dispensaries shut down in the city too. There's, there was over 20 that were beginning with this court case, and only a few of us are left. Weeds is shutting down. There are 5 or 6 locations today. Green Cross, which is the second oldest dispensary in the city, they're also shutting down today as well. So I don't think it's just about me. I think it's about these bad bylaws that were written by Vision Vancouver long before legalization was going to be happening. They wrote them to be very strict and very harsh, and I believe this current city council should be revisiting these bylaws in the context of legalization. Things have changed dramatically in Canada since these bylaws were written, and a very few easy changes would make things a lot better. The rule about 300 meters away from schools and community centers, whereas liquor stores only have 150 meters. That wouldn't affect us here, but that simple change, making it the same as liquor stores for dispensaries in terms of how far they are from youth, would allow a whole bunch of places to remain open. If they change the rules so that being in an industrial zone doesn't mean that you can't have a dispensary, we'd be able to stay open here. There's a bar right across the street. Why can a bar be in an industrial zone but a cannabis dispensary can't? It makes no sense. So very simple changes to these bylaws. We're not asking for huge changes or big, like a huge difference or special permits. We're asking to be treated similarly to liquor stores, and I think we should be treated much less strictly than liquor stores, because medical cannabis is not like alcohol. But even making it equivalent to how we deal with alcohol would allow us and many others to stay open. I think it's a real serious problem we're facing here.
That's not okay. They shut down how many? 70 dispensaries, and they got 4 legal dispensaries. Yeah. And it's triple the cost to get your medicine, and they add chemicals and all this garbage to your medicine. They're destroying our planet.
We provide medical cannabis at this location. The legal cannabis shops can't talk about the medical benefits of cannabis. If you go into the legal shop and say, I need help sleeping, or I've got pain, or how can you help me treat my cancer, or I've got AIDS, what do I do? They're not allowed to answer those questions. They have to tell you, we can't talk to you about that. That's a huge disservice. People need to be able to have conversations with people who can guide them on their cannabis use, on their medical cannabis use. We can do that here. We also provide a lot of products here that are not available from any of the legal shops. Suppositories, CBD capsules, creams and topicals. These things aren't available through the legal system yet. And considering the way they've dealt with buds, it could be many months or years before these kind of things are there. And having to turn away cancer patients and tell them, sorry, I can't tell you suppositories here anymore, is really heartbreaking for us to have to do that. And to have to turn away local people who need cannabis as a substitute for opioids or for whatever reason. It's very difficult for us to have to do that. Talk to City Hall, call the mayor, call City Council, tell them that you support local dispensaries, you want these bylaws to be changed. There's going to be a meeting coming up at City Hall. If you go to vancouver.ca, you can find the time and date for that, where they're going to be talking about cannabis access in the downtown east side. Register to speak at that meeting and talk to them and tell them how we need cannabis in this area and how our dispensary was serving that community. And we are calling this a temporary closure. We are hoping to reopen and start selling cannabis again one day soon. We still have court battles that are ongoing at the federal and provincial courts, and we think it's likely that we're going to win one of those court battles and have the legal status to be able to reopen and begin cannabis sales again. But until that time, we're not selling cannabis here anymore.
We're going back. Yeah.
Hey,
So
cool.
I've got Carly Marley on the phone here. She wants to say hi to everybody. Say hi, Carly Marley.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone out there, all the viewers on Pod TV. Thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to call in and say hello because normally I try to stop by at the studio on Fridays for Cannabis Culture News Live. But today I've been very busy. This whole week I've been working really hard on catching up on all sorts of amazing social media stuff. And we're going to be working really hard on adding all sorts of new products to the website soon. So it's been a really busy week for me. So I just wanted to say hello to all of our amazing viewers from everywhere and remind them to say hello and let us know where they're from. And follow us on Cannabis Culture Official, Cannabis Culture Magazine, Cannabis Culture Store, Pot TV Network, all on Instagram. You can check us out on Facebook. We've got
Lots of places to find Carly Marley.
on Twitter. Pardon?
I said there's lots of places to find Carly Marley.
We're everywhere.
There's lots of places to find Carly Marley. You can find Carly Marley on Facebook, and you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Carly Marley 420. So make sure you go check those out and follow those. Follow all the Cannabis Culture accounts. Follow the Pot TV accounts, and make sure you go check out CannabisCultureHQ.com because we have lots of amazing products going up for sale all the time, and we're going to be adding lots of new product over the weekend. And yeah.
There you go. And you can find Carly Marley every Monday on Pod TV at 4 p.m.
And there's lots of people in the chat saying hi to you right now, Carly.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Oh,
CDC.
hello. I can't see you all commenting right now because I'm on Facebook chat, but I will go check out the chat in a second. And the other reason that I wanted to call is because you guys look so fucking dope right now on screen with that big bag of pot that looks amazing.
Craft Resin Co.
It is amazing.
Oh my! Oh, it's Craft Resin Co.
Craft
no
Resin
wonder
Co.
Okay,
Craft Resin.
so I have two
It's Moby Dick.
requests. I have two requests. The first one is when you come and hang out with me later and we watch a bunch of Marvel movies and I make chocolate chip cookies, please bring some of that fire weed because we need to smoke some of those those joints.
I will score you
like,
a little nugget.
Yeah. Okay. And then my other request is you guys look so good. Please take an amazing, cool selfie and all of the viewers on Pod TV can watch you guys take it and then you can send it to me and you're going to have to go follow at Pot TV Network on Facebook and Instagram. You're going to have to go check out Cannabis Culture Magazine on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you want to see the picture. So
there you go.
And
I'm going to hang up.
You can tag
Pick
me
out
at my.
a beautiful nug for me and show it off on the butt cam. And while you do that, I'll go watch in the comments. So.
Thanks, Carly Marley.
And
Love all
tag
you
me,
guys.
Carly.
Make sure-
Love you very
Let
much.
us know where you're from in the comment section because that's like one of my favorite things ever is seeing all over the world where all of our viewers tune in from. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah,
I
where
love
you at,
you.
chatters? Where you from?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Carly Marley. Love you.
Love you,
Talk to you soon.
Opus.
I'll call
Love you,
later.
Carly. Tag me in your
Bye,
in your thing.
Jeremiah.
Bye,
viewers.
Carly.
Bye, guys.
Love you. Carly Marley, Pod TV's Carly Marley. You can see her every Monday. Check that out. And with BC Bud Gal, who is also amazing.
Yes.
The 420 Lifestyle Show was actually first started by Mr. Opus here.
Yeah, I created the show, and well, actually, I started that when I got back from Toronto. Actually, when I moved back here, came back to Pod TV. Yep. Carly came on as a co-host, and camera just went off.
And then eventually became the host.
Yeah, and then like I wanted to move on and do other things, so I kind of I needed to take some retirement time. I've been in this game like a long time.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of Pod TV shows.
I've done a ton of stuff. Well, that's what's going on with the camera. All right. So,
an auto takes a picture every 10 seconds or something?
It hears a certain words. And it's got that auto.
Snap.
Yeah.
It hears smile or wait, what is
cheese
cheese?
or yeah,
That's
or
beautiful.
smile or something. Shoot is another one. Yeah, it was a shoot.
Shoot. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But,
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so I handed it off to Carly, and like you say, Celeste came on board, and the girls have just
they do a fantastic
made their
job.
Changes and done their own thing, and it's great. Like the show's,
I love the show. Yeah, the
well,
show's
it's
amazing.
kind of like the whole retirement thing was the growers, the new products on the market. The shad or the bud, all these other things that have come along.
Yeah,
CBD isolate. Distillate.
Yep.
And not to mention all these younger people, the new people that have come on, the new activists that have come up and have stepped up and are doing great things, that are, really pushing forward. All the dispensaries that opened up at one point, we had over 100 dispensaries here in Vancouver.
Yep.
In my eyes, it was like, I can step back. You guys got this. And I needed some time.
Yeah.
You got to recharge. I've been, like I said, I did this for just too long.
Been doing it for a long time.
And that's why I got, like I was telling on the radio show with Craig earlier today, was the fact that it was getting too negative.
Yeah.
I was just too much negativity every week, every day,
Well, social media is tough on that end too. It does, there's a lot of that. So
that's why I want to do the game show, because it was like, no more news. This is just straight up, pot shit.
Right.
And fun and positivity.
Any news you follow, really, like, it's not just the pot news that's so negative.
No,
it's
news
like,
in general.
News in general. You
tough
follow
to
the
find
news, and it's
news.
if you're like in that profession where you're really reporting on the news a lot, man, it can be a depressing thing.
Being a news hawk can be very, very draining.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
It can be.
It really, after a while. So, you need outlets, and you got to go do your shit. So, I ride my bike now and stuff. That really helps. Sometimes it takes 2 whole tanks of gas to get my shit straight, but
I'm gonna hit another bong toke here. This is
is that piney?
This is more the Pineapple Express.
Good for you.
From dopethings.ca.
Zap that bowl. Pass that lighter back there, Jmac, please. Thank you, sir.
Ooh-wee. Oh man. Wow, that is nice stuff.
All right, now the selfie like Carl was talking about, that's what I wanted to do.
Do the selfie.
Yeah, get in here. Yo, let's get that bong out of the way.
Oh, the bong's great.
Well,
Here, let me hold it up.
I'll put it over here. Okay, there you go. That's better. Yeah. That's it.
Beautiful. There's the selfie.
Have to send that to Carly.
Carly will put that up somewhere. Go sign up for all the things she told y'all to sign up for. Now,
I didn't know half of those. I'm like, what? What are half of these sites?
Yeah, exactly. It's all our Instagrams and Facebooks, because there's one for all of there's a CCHQ.
Oh, I know,
one.
I get it, but but all the formats and web pages you're on, like, what?
It's too much to take in one thing over the phone. It's hard to decipher what was even there, but. Just type in Cannabis Culture and Pod TV on all of those things, and our shit pops up. You'll find us.
Facebook and stuff and all over. Yeah, you
the
guys
bag
are
is leaning.
everywhere.
I don't want it to fall over. The Moby Dick from Craft Resin Co. It's nice stuff. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's 6:00 here in beautiful
It's 6
Vancouver.
o'clock.
Landlord, you definitely have to come back soon and talk to us about all of the things you're doing. What's new in the hood?
Oh, I see. I've been in this neighborhood since 1976, so I see, like Neil handing out the Vandu stuff for over 2 years now. I help out in that part time and go down to the hood and see who gets gummies, and I see a change from people using heavier drugs coming down to edibles and weed. Because I see the same people every day, and they tell me their story. I'll stop and talk to someone on the streets about medicinal and how it's helped me, because like I said, Cannabis Day, I'm going to talk about stuff for pacemakers and that. The nitrous patch was really messing up my arm, so I'd rather have some nice marijuana to smoke and less pain. But being in this neighborhood, you always see changes, and I keep hoping the government would wake up and make a change in their mind so we can really legalize it and help people in the community there, because you see them on the streets every day. All the people down Hastings, just hurting, and wanting to make a change. I talk to people. I literally go down and talk to perfect strangers. The boldness in me to say, "Hey, how you doing? How can I help you? Or how can I direct you to get some medicinal?" So I tell them about Neil's outreach on Thursdays and Sundays at Vandu at noon. So, but yes, it'd be good to get some more donators there to help Neil and help people within this community. You know, to make a change. You know, government can't make a change because they're too busy thinking about their paycheck. And here we're here, a lower income society helping people in this community, which is really important. So I'm tired of seeing a lot of people dying of the needle, right?
No kidding.
Oh yeah,
So,
we all are.
No kidding.
Very sad, because like I said, I've lived in this neighborhood since I'm 12, so I'm 54 this year. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for all you do, Landlord.
Yeah,
It's
and
good to
too,
have you on the show.
Jeremiah and Neil and Jmac, and I forget this guy's name again.
Opus.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's all
But
right,
yeah,
brother.
you know, I
No
love
problem,
Pod
my
TV.
friend.
I love
know.
you guys out there, and keep medicated.
We love you too, Landlord. Thanks for holding it down out there. And thank you, Jmac, for coming on. Everything good with you?
Yeah, it's good. I'm in school again. I've been going to school, as you guys know, for just 2 months now, and I've decided not to work at the place that I said I was working at earlier because I can only do 2 days. But I will be continuing at have culinary training institute for the foreseeable future.
So you're chefing it up?
I'm chefing it up.
Dope.
Good man.
That's
So
awesome.
I'll let you guys know closer to when I'm graduating, because then maybe I can come down for lunch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That might be
That would be
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, we should
Right?
do that.
Yeah.
Or it's a Friday. I go to school Fridays and Mondays, so either day, or you can go anytime.
If we go for
That's
lunch,
cool.
we could film it and
Yeah.
then play some on Pod TV.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I'll film it on my camera. I'll bring my cam and film it.
That would be very fun.
I
Edit
can
it up,
ask
throw it up
my
on, and
teacher.
make a video.
I can ask my teacher and see if you can film it. But yeah.
See if we can pull that off. That'd be, I think, doable.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, good on you, Jmac.
So,
Glad to hear it. And
enjoy it. Enjoy it. Today I was promoted to a fry cook for lunch.
Nice.
So I'm now using the deep fryer.
Cool.
Haven't burnt myself yet.
Nah, lucky. Yeah, keep it safe there.
No, I don't want you guys because I need you, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I'm starting to do,
No bobbing for French fries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
No bobbing for French fries.
Yeah. Don't
not that
fillet or
crazy.
saute any
I'm not
Jmac.
that crazy. Yes.
Deep fried Jmac fingers.
I don't
Who
need a
said
basket.
that?
I can palm these out of here, no problem, you know.
Well.
3 weeks and 3 days of Cannabis Day.
Yeah, it's coming up. 3 weeks,
Yeah,
3
it's
days,
coming.
Cannabis
That's
Day
coming.
here in Vancouver. If you're a vendor, come on down.
And thank God it's
We,
today because I'm not going to school because they're closed. So yeah, I'll be kind
Yeah, we have to start making a few more announcements about Cannabis Day and really get the ball rolling. And,
I'm wearing red.
You're wearing red.
I'm ready for Cannabis Day. We're wearing red
There
here
you go.
today. So
I'm wearing the yellow one.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
There you go.
of.
Something on Cannabis Day? Oh, you got a video on him? Right now? Let's do it.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 420, everybody!
We didn't get this event because somebody gave it to us, and we get to celebrate these events and we get to enjoy this incredible, unique cannabis freedom here because we made it happen.
In Vancouver at this moment, this is the freest place
for the cannabis culture and marijuana people anywhere on earth. No one else is enjoying the kind of freedom that we have here in Vancouver today, with hundreds of kinds of cannabis being sold, dozens of booths, with people giving away cannabis, sharing, smoking openly, plants for sale. There's nowhere else on earth, not on the best day in Colorado or Washington or Amsterdam, do they have the kind of freedom we have. We create what legalization should be, because so many of us stood up and just ignored those laws. They couldn't handle it. We overgrew the government with our mass movement. And then we opened seed banks, and then we started putting on rallies that grew and started opening dispensaries. And despite the raids and the pressures and the courts, they just can't handle so many of us peacefully standing up. And luckily, we live in a country where the courts don't want to put us away for very long when you're peacefully standing up for a beautiful plant. My Canada includes cannabis, and I think it does for you too. Thank you so much for being here on Canada Day and Cannabis Day, and making my dream come true of legal cannabis for all. Thank you very much.
They are pushing this reefer madness upon us to say that pot makes kids stupid and crazy in order to justify the overregulation, to treat pot like a hard drug, and then justify their cartel. We don't want people to hurt themselves when they're using it, but you don't need a cop to stop you from hurting yourself with pot. You need to know how to use pot. Now what we want to do is regulate it like a soft drug, like organic fair trade coffee beans, so that everyone can smoke, everyone can deal, and everyone can grow. That is what we want. No more flower criminals at all. All the harmless people protected from harm.
All the pipes on that, Neil Magnuson.
So I guess we're out of here, eh?
He's like Frank Sinatra. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up and say goodbye.
My trivia question.
Oh, Jmac's got a trivia question.
Sorry.
That's right. All right, Jmac, what's the question?
For all... For all those who know the 420 and know what the shirts are, what shirt is this, and what year did it come out? It is Peacekeeper on the back, and it says 420 Vancouver.
Yeah, what year did this shirt come out is the question.
What year?
Yeah, you guys got a different color shirt every year, pretty much.
Every year we got a different color shirt, and different color shirt for the security personnel.
Right.
And it was kind of the way of having a cool new color shirt of 420 with the 420 logo on it. It was just like, I was like, why would we do the same every year? Let's try to, because we have to have the other shirts green, and we do a different color green every year.
That's true too.
Yeah. But I just kind of like to have fun with mixing it up a bit with the colors. So we do every year the security something.
I know, there's
like
always
this
been
year,
different
this is the security shirt from this year, and it's black.
Yeah.
It's a good one. We've never done a black shirt before. We did a black shirt to sell as a product in the store, like
There's
with
a 420 Vancouver
an
black
older black shirt. That was never a security shirt though. It doesn't have anything on the back. This one says security on the back.
And it's got the palm leaf, like the beach logo, I think, on that 420.
No,
Vancouver
it has
one,
the same as Jmac's does.
Oh, does it have that one? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the full long ways one.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it's got it's got the beach.
It has the beach
logo.
Yeah, it does. It's the same year as Jmac's shirt, I believe. I believe that it was the same year. Yeah.
What color?
Because I have one.
You have one too, the black one?
Yeah.
We used to sell them in the store downstairs,
I bought mine in the store.
I don't think they have any more.
They were the same year. That shirt and this shirt came out the same year.
That black 420 shirt's my favorite shirt ever.
So far,
I love that shirt.
Nobody has came close. I will give you a hint. It was the first Sunset Beach one.
First year at Sunset Beach.
I'll give you another hint. The last Art Gallery 420 was 2014, so that should tell you.
Well, there's the answer. Yeah, so it's true. 2015 is the.
I had to, okay, because we'll be
Yeah.
sitting here all day.
It's true.
Sorry, guys, because
No,
there's
it's true.
it's not like we're offering up a prize.
We don't have
Hey,
a
do I
prize.
get that bag of
We could have gave him a bag of movie. Yeah. Get your free Craft Resin Co. bag.
Curious on who knew their history.
All right.
Yeah, that
Anyhow.
was 2015. It's a cool one.
And-
That's
and-
the neon colored one. So the
Yeah.
first, I was like, what's a good color for security that stands out? Neon
I
yellow,
was-
highlighter
I
yellow.
was in a wheelchair then. I was on a wheelchair and,
Yeah.
and you need a security for the wheelchair. That's why you
And you guys camped out. You camped out overnight and stayed over, and they were there to
That's
help
why
me
they gave
work
the
early in the
yellow-
morning.
The yellow shirt for the back of my chair.
And that year was a shit show because in the morning when we actually laid out the grid for everybody, like usually now I lay out the grid
Now
the day
it's a lot
before,
smoother.
and it gives us a lot of time but laying the grid out the day of was horrendous because we were like
thinking?
trying to just put people, place them where they go, and we had we weren't allowed to write on the field at that point, so it was a bad year. But I mean, it was still a great year.
Hey,
But it was it was a hard year in the setup
I helped
process.
do the
That
layout
year,
this year.
I never left the parking lot. You
That
know
was the hardest year.
I never left the parking lot.
Yeah.
In a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
never-
But so, all right, everybody, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks to Anil for rolling the big dials and pressing the big buttons, and thanks to Landlord
Pulling the switches.
And thanks to Neil Magnuson and Roxanne and Jmac, Mr. Opus, Sterling.
Nice to be back.
Yeah, Craig X, who was here as well. Are we forgetting anybody? Carly Marley.
Carly, who phoned in.
That's
and
right.
we're gonna I guess I'll have to send. You'll have to give me your thing. I'll send her the picture.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll give her. Just send it to her Facebook. Are you
I
guys
don't
on
do
Facebook?
Facebook on my phone.
Why not?
Yeah, no.
No.
My mom's 80 and she does Facebook.
Not on my phone. I don't
No.
like it on my phone. Bugs
Because
me.
it tracks you and walks around with you.
It just don't want it. I don't deal with that on my phone. I've got it in my iPad. It's on my computer,
Yeah.
and I'll deal with it at home. I don't want to deal with it when I'm out and about.
Smart.
Not Facebook. I got Instagram and I got Twitter when I'm out and about, and that's good enough.
All right, Pod TV, we love you out there.
Oh.
We'll be back again next Friday. And watch.
Well-
Oh, J-Mac. You got something left to say there, J-Mac?
We're never gonna get out of here talking.
Yeah, hurry.
One last thing.
Yeah, one last thing for J-Mac.
Follow me at Jmac on Instagram.
Shameless plug.
All
Yes,
right,
please
let's
follow.
try. All right.
What's the? Say it again.
Jmac. JIFFYJMAC on Instagram.
There you go. All right, and yeah, tune in all week long for more Pod TV shows. There's something good all week long. Pod.tv. Always something on Pod TV.
Always.
Drug Peace.
Brought to you by SunWest Genetics.
Hi there, welcome to the 420 Lifestyle Show. I'm Carly Marley. She's taking a dab. Thanks.
We can play the Sick Moose video.
Oh yes, Sick Moose video. Let's play the Sick Moose video.
Yeah, so that's my home. That's like all over the place, I guess.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he describes.
Oh, I'm rolling up the fattest joint I could possibly fit in this paper. If it was any bigger, it would explode.
These are the care packs that we give out. Somewhere between 160 to
to 200 of these packs every time that we're here, twice a week.
And what's in the packs?
Gummy, candy there, a cap, a joint. We have these other caramel. Unfortunately, because of the city's clampdown on dispensaries and the transition to the non-medical legal government stores, there's people really struggling to find what they need out there. 180 people are going to line up here today in the rain for hours to get, a bag like that. There's a great need in this city that's not being met.
How many? 230 people. That is the biggest lineup we had so far this year.
Shame on our municipal government for not allowing the free access to medical dispensaries and edibles, which should be happening.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.